I thought you guys have been live, so I'm just...
Yeah.
No, we were just rabbiting on and I was dying, obviously.
Yeah.
You did?
I was trying to put it on mute, but I don't know how.
Go back.
Okay.
Click on that.
We don't get any of your sound, though, Red, so it's not going to matter.
That's true.
Yeah, but she's just making sure
Yeah.
she's not blooping.
I just want to make sure I'm not bleeping.
Not that you've ever blooped before.
No, I probably will never bleep.
All right.
So,
Wait till later.
So. It's been a while.
Hold on.
Or
my
not.
stream just went down apparently.
Okay.
Again?
Yeah, something about a Wednesday night. Just
I think the world hates this game.
No,
It
I'm
doesn't want
live.
it to exist.
No, it's just Midges goes down every Wednesday.
it's not every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Hold on, I'm gonna restart my
Or
stream.
noon.
Oh dear lord.
Hey, Carson Mason, how you doing? Everyone say hi to Carson Mason.
Hello.
Mason.
Hi.
Midge.
What do the numbers mean, Mason? What do the numbers mean?
Okay. Roach.
Oh, I missed that game.
Yeah, so do I,
Okay.
actually.
What are the
Just wondering who the hell texted me at 12:30 at night last night. It was my mother.
Carson Mason did. You're getting blamed for
That's
everything
goddamn
today, Carson, just so you know that.
Are you awake? Was what she texted me.
No, it's 12:30, Mum.
Hey,
Colonel
we're back
Ball.
on my end. Let's go.
Yeah, Colonel
to be
Ball,
fair-
Mitch's
to be
stream
fair, it's
did
me.
die, but he's back now, so if you want to go back there, I'll completely understand and won't hold it against you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, oddball.
Right.
You're always welcome here, Oddball.
You're welcome here more, Ball. You are. You're welcome here more.
Right.
What?
Should we put
You're both pretty.
Yeah. God. So,
Welcome to the glasses stream.
it's been 2 weeks since we last played. Everybody's vision has markedly degraded.
No, I haven't got them on.
Oh, she hasn't got them on. She's not wearing them. She can't be part of the glasses stream.
Damn it! How are we going to get any sponsorship without that?
There you go. Yeah, last time we played, you all had a lot of downtime in the capital city of the dynasty. You leveled up.
Yeah, we're going back as
And-
well. We really are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you leveled up. I think you're all level 10, right? Yeah. Yeah, level 10.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
did I actually do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
you
it.
did.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
decided what type of arrows I want though.
should probably do that soon.
Yeah,
Well-
I know.
Probably, yeah. So, in that downtime, you all had various things that you were doing just to pass the time. Some of you were training with new weapons, of which now I just realized that I never implemented that weapon into this game, so I need to write that out. Some of you just tried finding work. Some of you did research, things like that. It was fairly chill. You have been told that you have an inn with a few individuals who may know some things about pre-conquest history, some intellectuals, and you've been invited to attend a little get-together of those individuals at some point, as well as a social gathering in a few days with quite a few of the more well-to-do upper echelons of society, as a way of trying to get other individuals to know or to take seriously your warnings of an imminent threat, of which the other military commanders were unconvinced. So yeah, I don't remember the exact thing we left off at. We did leave somewhat early in a half day because of the immense heat that you all were experiencing.
Yes. Oh yeah, we all died of heat stroke. That also happened.
Oh no, no, we have central air here because
It just wasn't that warm here.
yeah. So
Can I need to, just because these have a cost to them, I need to run by you. I need to buy some spell components if I can, Roach.
okay.
So I need to try and find a jeweler's if I can.
I swear to God, there's like a gnat that just keeps existing around my desk. I'm fucking annoyed by it.
It's
That's
existing.
2 days.
You should murder it.
It just exists. Jeweler's components?
Well, no, I just need to find a jeweler's to buy some things for.
What exactly are you looking
spells.
for?
So I'm
What's
looking to buy a sunburst pendant worth of 100
Is it-
gold pieces.
Worth of 100 gold pieces. Sunburst pendant. Okay. Specifically a sunburst pendant. All right.
Yes.
All these dice.
I've got a small selection of dice that I keep on my desk for the things I might need them for. And then I have the big old bag of dice. It's got like over 100 in here, so I'm prepared.
You could murder somebody with those many dices, but
Probably depends on how much damage I rolled. Come on, that was funny.
Okay,
Who are you?
okay.
I was too
Hurt.
busy getting bored.
I
That's fine.
laughed. It was on mute.
Yeah, remember we're not allowed to make rival laugh right now for completely unknown reasons to everybody watching.
I'm not gonna explain what happened, but just know he was wearing a different shirt.
Oh, that just sounded a bit saucy.
Down, Moogle. Down.
right? What happens between Roach and Rival in this
Not
spare
again.
time?
So,
You just
sunburst
see,
pendant worth.
one of those old timey, Cane come to the side. Just,
So,
No, I need to
sunburst pendant
rest.
Worth,
I need to rest.
worth 100 gold pieces.
yes.
100 gold pieces. Okay. Give me just a general investigation check. Fucking gnat! I swear to God. Fucking thing.
My
First
sweet
roll
innocent
night,
ears.
that's a 21.
Nice.
Okay, you do find the sunburst pendant, kind of over the ensuing few days of time. That looks to be about what you're looking for in terms of worth for the spell you're wanting to cast. Though it is marked up a little bit
Okay.
in terms of the cost. So you'd have to spend about 175 gold pieces for that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I've got money.
It's like throws the gold at them.
I'm still sitting on 400 platinum.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you all want to do? Because we worked out.
Picking up my fine clothes.
I-
Well, that's
I-
clothes, okay.
I want to go and buy a dress. I also want to roleplay just one night, just one dinner, because I've got something to do. And I also want to go to and either find Hare, our friendly German scientist, or go and see the nice lady at the castle.
Ferdinand Bosch or whatever his name is. Friedrich
Yeah.
Bosch.
Friedrich.
My head always goes to Ferdinand for some reason. I think it's because he sounds more Austrian than German, kind of in my head. So I want to call him Ferdinand.
He might, because fuck if I know how to do either of those specific accents. Okay. For a dress, I guess I'll have you pay a similar amount that I had the guys pay, unless you're gonna get something like really specific made. So I think like
It should be on the shelf. She just wants a nice corseted dress,
all right,
preferably
it's like
in
fine, it's
a
like
dark
fine
red.
clothes.
Yeah,
It's like fine clothes, local fine clothes. All right, 15 gold pieces for that.
cool.
Got no specialty things, just a nice fine dress. Okay, that. What was the other thing you wanted to do?
Research and roleplay one dinner. That is it.
Dinner with who?
That lot. My companions.
no.
What? Oh shit, we're in trouble. Mom wants everybody at the dinner table. Oh
Let's see if
no.
anybody. Let's see if anybody else wanted to do anything. We'll take that up. We'll do that first. I know what Rival was doing during this time, training. Isaac's doing that. Sesh, I think we went over what you were doing last time, didn't we? Or
For work, but I rolled in that one, and I have to
Right,
pick up
you're
my had to pick up my nice clothes as well.
all right, yeah,
Did we ever figure out how we were going to do the weapon for that, Roach?
yeah. I said that 5 minutes ago. I forgot to put that in to the game. If you wanted to put it in now, it's a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it now since we'll do it live.
No, you can finish everyone
Uh,
else off because we can do it during the break or something.
Okay.
True.
You stand
During the break.
Did we go over what you were doing during this downtime, or you just
Drink
living it up?
Just living it up, mingling
Living it up.
with my fellow nobility.
Okay. Relaxing for the first time in months. For the first time in weeks, you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
anything. It's just endless.
God
the longest
damn you,
vacation we've
Midge!
had.
I have that in my head now. I have to. Put that in
All right. So if that's
my
the case,
inner rave child.
if that's the case, then one fine night, you all get together from your various
When Sesh
disparate,
gets back,
disparate activities that you're spending your days doing, to have your kind of team dinner or team meal. You have one a day, or you always try and have one a day at the inn that you're staying at, or hotel that you're staying at, because you are staying at the very nice one. So you have your own bed, or not bed, table. Fucking, I really need this tea to cool down. But you have your own separate table that you all eat at, and yeah, there you go. And let's see.
so how is everyone's day?
Eventful.
Rivallon, you look particularly bloody. Did you shoot many things?
Why would you say that?
The amount of blood.
I could have just been out in a bar fight. Yeah, I killed stuff.
Right, couple of things. Number
That's
one,
funny. I killed stuff too. I went on the hunting party.
Yay!
I haven't killed anything for a few days. Thankfully, my ears don't itch when that happens. So, couple of things. Does any of you know how to dance? Because we're going to this party.
Oh, I know how to dance, but not the kind of dance you're thinking.
That's the problem.
There
Any
was
of
many
you?
a scroll in the monastery library about dancing.
Dancing is.
Actually, no, hold on. I'm gonna roll a d20. Don't. 12. Isaac saw people dance when he was a kid. He has never. He was that kid at weddings running around, you know.
Generally sliding on his knees, ruining
don't-
his trousers.
That kid. I was that kid.
My lady?
we don't do the dance that you do. The dance.
No, I didn't. I
dance
I
completely
expected
different.
that. My lady?
Seen how unelegant I am.
Well, see, that's my
Dancing-
problem. I know all the rules.
Such as text.
I know all the
so are they
rules.
gonna-
I just can't get my feet in the right place.
Well, it would be based off performance, which is well. Listen, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Sesh's dancing is equivalent to her being in a bar with a bunch of people that she doesn't know dancing. So, not elegantly, but I understand what. I've
You
danced in
understand the
pubs.
basics. You
Yeah,
just
I've
might
danced in
step on
pubs and
some
stuff.
poor lady or man's feet.
I might crush somebody's toe, which is a very
Just-
poor example and first impression.
Well, if anyone's interested, I was going to ask reception, and so if there is a dancing master available. But honestly, we're probably going to be talking more than dancing. And
I think as technically a member of a religious establishment, I'm not expected to dance.
nah, not all of us have that.
I don't know what I qualify as, to be quite honest.
Motherfucking dragon lady is what you qualify as.
And the other thing, and she brings out 5 little bags. I bought you all something because you've accepted me in, and I appreciate it, and you've all kept me alive. Which, if I was on my own, I would have been dead 6 months ago, and we all know it.
Well, you
So-
also wouldn't have been in situations that we got you in, so it's kind of a.
But I would still be looking for my brother Isaac, and therefore definitely be dead.
She wants to give us stuff. Shut up.
So, right,
Sorry, I couldn't help that one.
I'm going to have to show this on the stream somehow, but in the Discord, I am sending a picture which looks like a 6-year-old did it, but it was actually a 36-year-old of what what Mog has bought you all.
Most
And
of
you
us
can-
can't draw. It's fine. That's far better than anything I
Cute.
could ever do.
I love that.
Like that. That's really cool because something like that is exactly on the new drawing of my character.
So
Yeah, you can
it's
say
a
that.
sort of cloak pin, so it keeps your
Yeah,
cloak.
which is awesome. If we've seen the new picture of that character, there is one of those right there.
Yeah.
On a little
Oh.
sash. Yeah.
Isaac looks
That's-
blooming gorgeous in those.
Oh my gosh. Also, yeah, no, we have those blue sashes if we need them. By the way, I picked those up for us ages ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was-
Yes. Yes, I'll be using that with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Channeling my inner bison. Yes.
That handsome lad drawn by Mammoth artist who chat right now.
The animated one. This is offset. Ah, this is it closes in.
Do we have a flag yet? No, we do not.
We need to get one of those.
No flag,
That's
no
something.
This is
country.
like Battle Brothers, our
I
mystery company,
I
and
might
we
have
don't have it.
helped with that, but I'm bad at vexology. I'm very bad at vexology.
So I just wanted to say thank you. So enjoy.
This
I
is-
also have I might ask them back one day if I can figure something out. I might enchant them a little bit.
Oh,
That's sweet.
I as long as they don't require attunement, I'm kind of tapped.
He's like, listen, my body can only take so much magic.
I literally need to cover myself in magical items to get up to you guys' level of awesome.
Okay, Isaac, when do you want to? Well, actually, I should ask everyone, but I think everyone doesn't like us reading as much as we do. When do you want to go and see Herr Bosch and the other lady?
we can do that. We can do that tomorrow. I'd rather see the source we haven't met yet before we try to meet Mr. Bosch again. Just because I feel like we tapped a lot of his knowledge before, so I unless he's been doing further research, you know, let's make a new introduction first.
We could have piqued his
We
interest.
find Mr. Bish, Mrs. Bash, and then we can go back to Mr. Bosch.
Bash Bush.
Real good nosh.
That's what
He
we're
says as
eating
she's
right
eating
now.
dinner.
What was that an advert for? No, I'm swear that was
Oh,
an
yeah, that was an Elvis. Bish, bish, bash, bosh, are all good nosh.
advert.
Wait, I think I might know that. Isn't that like an instant mashed potato thing?
No, that's
Uh,
Smash.
Bish, bash,
That
bosh.
wasn't it.
That's smash. Oh, and that's the alien one. Isn't that?
It was
Yeah.
isn't that
Coleman. It was Coleman's ever. It was.
Ah, yeah, Coleman's mustard.
Yeah.
God damn.
How the hell do I do this?
I have one of those. For some reason, I'm one of those people that can just recall adverts. That's my entire childhood was just taking advert information. Apparently.
No,
Um,
that's basically all of our. Well, I mean, that's like me, you, and Mikey's childhood.
Yeah, to be
so-
fair, you probably see the same advert more times than you do your favourite episode of a show.
That's
Yeah.
Because, like, it's every 15 to 20, well, 20
I'm
minutes
pretty
in the
sure I
UK.
remember more GI Joe adverts than the actual GI Joe television show because of just how
yeah,
the-
I
and
re-
they always had that
advert-
thing where they were like busting through a wall or something like that, made of
Advert
styrofoam
theme
blocks.
songs
It's like the thing that's in my head. for
Yes,
some reason.
advert theme songs as well. I can just like reel off like so often. It's like just
Don't
my head.
sign on the dotted line until you talk to Tempo.
Oh yeah, just all
Thank you,
those sort of
Tori.
things.
Now that's in my head.
Rely on us to keep you warm. I can't remember who that was for. That was for like a gas company advert.
We live in a dystopia.
Sylvanian families.
This is our.
No!
This is hell. This is hell.
All right now.
We all died in the 90s, and it's hell. That's what this
Fuck,
is.
am I still
This
wearing
is
a shell
purgatory.
suit?
The bombs the bombs launched. The Soviet Union did it. They pulled the trigger, and we're all dead. We've all
Going back
been
through my
dead.
notes to find that other lady's name, and like the first page I showed to it says Rivallon Mr. Bridge.
It's all just songs from adverts. I don't know why I wrote these down.
How
Wait.
do I add my necrotic
Alof?
damage to my
Alof?
shots?
You change the like where it says piercing.
Yeah. No, it's
On there, you-
if it hits, it gets 2d6 necrotic damage.
Someone by
Yeah.
the name of Ale, I think is
Where
the first
where
one.
you have your damage at, like for the attack. You see
Yeah.
where it says piercing, like it says like 1d something piercing damage.
Yeah.
You would put after that you would put XD whatever that is necrotic damage in the same exact syntax that you
Alright.
that you want to. Unless it does if it hits it always does that necrotic like every time
Yeah.
you hit.
But it's 2d6, not 1d6.
Then you just put another in there. You
There's
just
like
put
a
another
plus line
2d.
that you can do.
It's like a plus line that you put that
Right.
down. Yeah. Then you just
Yeah, I think
put the same syntax in. Remember lowercase for necrotic, and it's got to be the same. You know how it's. Yeah, all that syntax. You just copy that, and it'll work.
so. I think it was an Elven lady by the name of Alof. I've got
Yes.
Alof
Yeah.
reread. So I think that's who we're gonna go see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ayla Alof, because
Ayla.
Yeah,
Alof.
Miss Alof, curator
Yeah.
of the Prince's Library.
So let's go find her.
So if you're wanting to, are you wanting to go and meet her?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've been
Yeah.
given
bloody hell.
you've been given word about where you can meet her at and kind of the times that she's expecting. So it kind of matches up at some point during your downtime. You take that time to go out and go and meet her. Who's going? Is it just you and is it just Isaac and Mog? I've got to remember all of your guys' names. You're going, Will? Okay.
Sesh will join.
Okay. So yes, you use the information you've previously had to find her residence, which is where you'll meet her at, for a kind of a day party, like a little get together happening between a lot of individuals, and when you arrive, you find a fairly nice 2-story home. Just kind of, it's all connected to all the other homes, but it looks fairly well kept. It's not crowded or anything. It's in a nice part of town, near the princes, or near the walls of the palace. So it's not too far away. So it's in the rich part of town, but it's one of the smaller. It's like a smaller residence in the richer part of town. But there's a doorman who guides you through the actual home, the bottom floor of the home. When you arrive, and you inform that. What do you say whenever you get there? Like, how do you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Moggrith Prongfoot Longsbury. I was sent here by General Hasland Vogue. He said that you might have some time for us. As this is my companion Inquisitor Isaac and Leseshul Seshi. There was too many S's for my mouth.
It's easier in the original Draconic. Lizard-based people, a lot of S in that language. So,
Sir, I'll have you know.
We was told that we may be able to do some research here,
Or you might be able to help us with.
or
some.
you might be able to.
well, you're
help
talking
us.
to the doorman right now of the.
Oh, we're here to
I'm asking,
see
I'm
Miss
asking
Aelith.
asking how you introduce yourself.
We're here to see
all
Miss
right.
Aelith.
Like
General
Lord
Hasland Vogue sent
Batongi.
us.
Or something like that.
You give that introduction. He comes back, and inquires, are you the Turquoise Company?
We are.
Turquoise Band? She's expecting you. And he guides you. It's like it's a human man with like a little bit of a belly, dressed in fineries, but guides you through the bottom floor of the house into the backyard, which it has a backyard. It has like an enclosed space in the back. A little garden party going on right now. There's about maybe 10 people here. A lot of well-dressed women, all in like their with some have parasols. They're all laughing a little bit. There's finger sandwiches and little tea and stuff, and they're all just talking. It's not it's very concentrated. There's a little like mini not patio, but like covered area in the back yard with some shade that everybody's sitting around a table. Fucking, is this tea ready yet? Please, let it be ready, because I need caffeine. No, that's really hot. Okay. So,
His face off. Excuse him.
and seriously, this fucking thing. The thing is, I didn't even heat this water up. That just comes out of the dispenser under boiling. So, it's great for making tea, bad for drinking.
You do put
Also
it in
just
a
making-
kind of flask mug, though, Roach. You don't help yourself.
Well, it's because this is 20 ounces of tea, and I need it to last like the first half of the game, and so if I don't, it'll go cold. So it needs to be in a nice, very insulated mug, insulated tumbler. But yeah, it's like a little garden party. The doorman shows you, and then you see, like I said, about 10 well-dressed, fine, kind of upper society women. All of them, to a woman, have glasses of some description, and almost all of them are wearing the standard librarian hair.
These are my people.
So tight bun, like a
These
tight
are-
So
bun.
is what? Like
Like buns. Nice.
someone club. Is that what we've?
Yeah. By the way, I just want to.
You will be reading The Elf and the Dwarf, a tale from the freeholds.
Yeah. By the way, just want to tell everybody, because I think we've forgotten in the intervening time. Remember, Discord now automatically mutes people talking when you're talking, mutes other people. So half the time, while you guys are interrupting other people, and basically their microphone just cuts out. So just keep that in mind, so we can make sure we don't talk over people.
But that's the only way we
But yeah.
communicate, Roach.
Just try for me. Just try for me. So, but yeah, there's like to an individual. They're all wearing the standard librarian haircut. Though they're definitely not like middle class. This is very up. This is very posh in a way. A lot of finery. But you were introduced, and the head of the table, you see a elven woman, looks very severe. Though does wear a smile, just very harsh lines of the face. Kind of graying like brown hair. Wearing a nice dress. Does stand up and offer her hand to whoever's stepping forward as kind of the leader of the
Mogwell.
the party. Okay, offers her hand, and says, "Hello, we were expecting you." General Vogue said he had a band of interested individuals in the archaeological arts.
Interested you are, yes. My name is Mogwith. It's a pleasure to meet you. This is my companions, Inquisitor Isaac and Seshul Leshishi.
Everybody kind of inclines their head. And said, yes, I am Ayla Aof, hostess of this party. These are my good friends. These are all members of the Clan Historical Society.
It is a pleasure to make all of your acquaintances.
I mean, there's all like nods and smiles around. It's a very welcoming atmosphere. There are a few seats available around the table, none together. So you just kind of step in wherever you can. And
Wait a minute, Sesh has just set fire to the table.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room. No, I don't
We've
do
got
that.
the
I'm just
same
testing.
spell, Dash.
I'm just testing to make sure my spells are correct.
I was just testing my arrows.
Because I got level 5 spells now.
Woo!
I
Yeah.
have that spell as well.
Yeah. But yeah, you were offered, small cups of tea, little finger sandwiches, kind of things like that. And she begins. So, what is it that you're interested in? Just general history of the region? It definitely seems like you're from other places.
Yes, we are all from east of the mountains. Myself and Isaac are from the north, and as you may be able to tell, Leseshul is from the more southerly regions. But we're really interested in anything you can tell us about the champion coming over the mountains and sort of claiming these lands, and what happened to the Elven societies that were here at the time.
Oh, and there's a lot of chittering between them. Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't ask small bits of information, do you? It's quite a subject, a very interesting subject, very broad though. Is there specific things you're looking for? The mythology, the history of this, the specific part, or just generally?
Me specifically, I'm very interested in how the language that the older Elvish people used to speak, and also I heard tell that there was a number of elves that, rather than sort of merge into sort of the human society that came over, actually left and tried to forge their own path. I didn't know.
Yes, Yaren's Folly. That's what it's called. That's what the ocean gets its name from. It's assumed that if it's true, Yaren, the last king of the empire, with his most loyal retainers and the Holy Guard, and the most well-to-do of society that would not yield left aboard their ships southerly. Nothing's ever been heard from them. It's mostly a rumor or a legend.
Could
It's
you?
assumed that he passed. The ocean to the south is quite treacherous, from what I've heard.
What was Yaren like as a ruler? Is there much scripture on that?
From that time, not as much. Most of the records have been lost to time when the city was put to light by the conqueror, and when the holy tree that used to make up the imperial palace, as it was grown in place, was set afire when the city was sacked. Most of the records were contained in there. Most of what we get from there is a mix of I'm trying to think of the word because I know the word. It's vocal history. No, that's not the word. It's
Oral history.
oral history. Fucking hell! What is it with me today?
Rivallon walks by and completely unnoticed and goes, I didn't do that.
I don't know how he got in, but carry on.
Yeah,
Super stealth.
it's mostly told through oral history, with very little written of the time. Quite a bit is contradictory, from what we know.
That's to be expected, though, with this sort of history.
Well, there's a lot of and it gets kind of hushed at this point, and everybody it gets kind of political. There's a lot of, especially when it comes to what specifically happened and who was bequeathed what, because that would mean one of the successor kingdoms was more valid than the others. It's quite the butting of heads, and that does mean that archaeological pursuits are somewhat monitored by many of the kingdoms.
Of course. Do you know whether whether it's rumored that of any Yaren's descendants remained within these lands, rather than take up the folly of crossing the ocean?
No, Yaren was known as a celibate man. Had no offspring.
Difficult to produce an heir, then. How would the succession have gone down?
The old elves were quite religious, and their religion at the time, he was a what do they call it? A one-woman corrects, a paragon of some of one of their goddesses, and it was part of that, and that was more important than the other. The empire was believed, this is theory, to be in decline for quite some time before the conquest occurred. So it doesn't surprise me.
What can you tell me of the old elvish gods?
The sun and the moon.
It was a big part of their culture, I assume.
Well, quite a bit, actually. Yes. The sun played was thought to be some sort of god or high being, and then the three moons were also different aspects of their pantheon, with various other gods representing the different elemental materials: earth, wind, fire, water, and all of these made up a specific pantheon. A lot of the beliefs, again, are very hard to discern because there's a lot of intermixing between steppe beliefs and the old Elvish beliefs after the Conquest, so it's very difficult to find original practices.
I understand. So it was the actual sun that was worshipped, rather than, as you can see from my companion here, the Dawnfather.
Yes, we believe so. Their iconography depicts the sun as a predominant object of worship, with the moons being secondary.
Do the names Alas and Estra appear many times in royalty, going back to the old dynasty before Yaren?
Lost in Estra. Elos is somewhat interesting. It doesn't. I don't believe there was any recorded nobility of the time. Again, there's not a lot written, but it does mean moonlight in very, very old Elven dialects.
Okay. And
Estra, I'm not sure that one. I've never heard of it. Definitely has the sound of Elvish, very old Elvish. Did you find this on a dig, or some sort of?
We found it in
Some sort of
passing.
ruins?
Some very old coins came up. And
Ancient Elven coins. I believe we have a collection of those in the library.
what
Most
about
of them
the
are rusted. But
What about the All Mother?
oh, no, that wouldn't. I mean, I've heard of similar beliefs in places like Zerol and the various areas over the sea. It's but that wouldn't work too well with ancient Elven culture. They were very patriarchal in their beliefs. The various moons and the spirits were all of male descendants, or male pronouns.
interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting.
My lady, do you have any questions?
Or who are you denoting that to?
Literally Sesh, who looks.
Oh, okay.
There's a crack in the distance. You know. Oh, that's
Information.
Rivallon
It's got a little
practicing his rifle.
got a little teacup that you just like.
It's 2 stands. This is so small.
It's a
Why?
normal teacup.
It's like
How do you drink
How?
out of this?
just why?
It's a standard size.
It barely even makes up a cup of tea. No, she's
And those finger
she's been-
sandwiches, so small.
She's been taking in a lot of
And those finger
information.
sandwiches are a lie. There are no fingers in them at all.
Oh, it's a lot of cucumber.
Ugh. Well, actually, no, Sesh fine. Like, it's got water in it. It's good for you. No, Sesh has just been taking this information in. She's got like a notebook out and she's writing stuff in it.
So, are you a traveling band of archaeologists?
Scholars,
no.
archaeologists.
Something like that, maybe?
Jurors,
We-
I believe.
We
Paid killers,
definitely explore
mercenaries.
ruins.
We pride ourselves in being experts in all manner of things. What would you know of any villages that were post-conquest, ransacked elven communities in the area around here?
Oh, well, it's a dreadful time post-conquest. You see, when the Conqueror led the final campaign against the city that once stood here, the capital of the old empire, there's conflicting stories. One has them being struck by an arrow in the chest and another has them being dehorsed in single combat with the High General of the Sun Guard, which is the royal guard of the Emperor. No one's sure exactly which one is true, but we do know is that the Conqueror passed soon afterwards, and after that, there's it's the discipline of the Emperor, the Conqueror's forces. When it didn't a lot of there was a lot of indiscriminate violence against the local population, which so there most villages of that time were probably ransacked or burned or somehow attacked until the various generals of the
When did this
Conqueror were able to
finish?
regain.
When did
It
this?
took the post-conquest. And there's a lot of individual talking between them, and they're all disposing different ideas. There's maybe a year or two before general calm was regained, but the successor kingdoms have been a barely simmering pot for quite a long time. And sometimes it boils over. There's not a lot of. Hasn't
Maybe
been a
about
long stretch of
183 years
peace.
ago.
What about? Is there anything specific that comes to memory in the last couple of 100 years? We have a
Yeah.
companion from these parts, whose history is linked to this area.
There have been. I have more deal with ancient history than recent history. That could have been a part of border conflict. It depends specifically on where it occurred. Border conflict or internal strife. There's been banditry is quite prevalent in the dynasty's lands. Less so in the Othrinian Empire. More so to the north. It occurs. If you could give me specifics, I could maybe look at our records. But if it didn't happen in the dynasty's borders, then that probably is not going to be much.
We're a little
Written.
unsure as to where it happened.
I believe
It-
Rivallon mentioned that he remembers what the uniform looked like. Correct?
Well,
I
what
could
so
be
his
wrong.
scribe does.
Rivallon Scribe does. She's just looking. Hang on.
Rivallon's a wood elf as well, isn't he? He's not high elf.
He's wood elf, yeah.
It's possible it wasn't even on this continent, and he was in fact wood elf.
Where
Wood
did I,
elf.
where did
Oh
I
yeah.
write it?
That's what I'm just clicked to me.
He could have been from the lands overseas and brought back here by
where,
somebody.
where there's heavy colonizing that keeps failing.
Yep.
You know?
Could have been
The
brought
Strait
back
of
here
Fla-
by
across the
somebody.
Strait of Flowers?
I've got
Strait
it
of
somewhere. What
so,
uniform
yeah.
he was wearing.
Strait of Flowers. Yeah, that's the strait separating Aral from Lenore, which is the continent over.
Mhm. I've got a good memory. I didn't even have the map open.
Almost as good as me, and I made it.
You made it years ago, though, to be fair.
God, I have. It's been too long.
Miss Aloth, sorry, back to ancient history. I have a very unique skill. I can read any written language. It was something that my patron gave to me. I was wondering if you had any books written in ancient Elvish that I maybe could have a look at within the library. Of course, I'd be under complete supervision.
Unfortunately, dear, I cannot allow you into the library or to read any of the things within the library. It's a It is for only the servants of the High Prince and the High Prince himself, or the High Princess herself, whichever it may be at the time.
I understand.
It's tradition, unfortunately. Although we don't have much untranslated works, the library is not a growing collection. It is ancient tomes and the records of past that exist. Our historical society is mostly dealing with historical archaeological finds that we read about from abroad more recently. What was it? There was a report not too long ago that somebody had found an old burial mound near Gaul from one of their ancient kings.
We were there.
You were.
Yes,
were.
we were. We helped.
Why do you think they survived?
We were hired to deal with, should we say, ancient trickery.
Oh, yes, they were quite paranoid back in the day about grave robbers.
So yes, we were privy
Yes,
to
that's
that
more-
exploration.
That's more what we deal with, the findings of other intellectuals and academics of the day.
I'm going to produce one of the Elven Coins from across the way and say, does this match any of the finds, or is it similar to the style of finds you've had for any pre-dynasty ancient Elven coinage?
So you produce this, give it to her, and you don't nobody talks to you for about 20 minutes. They're talking amongst themselves, crowding around it and looking at it, turning it over
What
in
are they
their
speaking
hands.
in?
It's mostly common. It's just very quick. It uses a lot of technical terms that you don't necessarily understand. It's a lot of industry terms, or not industry, but that kind of the academic terms that are kind of almost arcane in their own way. Just in terms, this is how they're describing
Just
it.
nerds.
Yeah, it's a lot of interplay
Don't-
between
Don't. No.
all of them. Until they do start asking, where did you find this? This looks remarkably preserved. It's a different design than standard pre-conquest currency for the Empire. It also uses an iconography that we haven't seen before. This 3-moon pattern in the top right-hand corner. It's barely noticeable here. That is a different alignment than the moon pattern that was used previously before on the coins we have. Say, is this a Lenore printing or what? Where is this?
Right. Just question to party. Are we going to privy these guys to information? Because here's the thing. We are trying to convince people. So if we can convince academics...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're not exactly
might
keeping
have-
a secret.
Yeah, we are trying to spread the secret. So
Yeah,
not
we're
a
not
secret if you
keeping
spread it, man.
anything secret, so I don't see why we should start now.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do
so, ladies, we are privy to some information that, well, it is of grave importance. This, we believe, is a print from... Sorry, just double checking the note. What's the island called where the dragons come from?
Orland.
Orland. This is printed in Orland. We believe that some of Yaren's followers managed to survive there and have built a civilization. We know of a city by the name of Yaren's Point down there, for sure. We actually found this in a saddlebag atop an Orland shadow dragon. The reason we're coming to you for as much information as possible is we believe there is a grave threat to this nation in the fact that an army from Orland is coming to reconquest. I asked about those names before, and if one of the coins translates to having. Where was it? What was the names I gave earlier?
Estra and Alas.
Yes, Estra he's denoted as Estra II, or the Great Uniter. So if the moons are on a different side, maybe the civilization reunited down there, and it helps symbolize that rebirthing process they went through. We also know them to believe in this All-Mother, which, from what you're saying, is unlike the ancient civilization. But if they've gone through some sort of cultural rebirth, then maybe they found it through a new deity.
Have you learned ladies heard of a demi-goddess by the name of Seagull?
I should so be here.
You chose not to be.
Yeah.
You can come and join us. Like, you know where we are.
Oh, I know, but I
They
also know that I'm coming in heavily armed.
Well,
Right, you could go.
their-
Remember that
Gun.
Orlan Shadow Dragon we talked about? It's
You're
on
wearing
him.
it.
He's wearing it.
They shake
wearing
their
what?
head when you mention Seagull. Also, go ahead and make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Shit. Oh, okay. Is Morg not taking the help action to try and...
I'm helping.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's just a standard flat. Yeah.
Persuasion. +4, but here we go. Oh, that's a
Oh,
9.
Ooh.
Fuck's sake. Like, why do I never roll well on things that are important? Ah!
Right. To help, Mog is going to get out the original paperwork. What we nicked.
Yes.
We did not nick it. We borrowed it with no
Quiet.
intention of giving it back.
Nicking
And
it.
she's going to hand over a translation in case they don't understand she's just going to hand it to them and say, I do have a translation if you need it. You should
Okay,
recognize
so you
the language.
hand them the
originals.
documents.
Those
originals.
military
Uh,
informations.
You hand them that, and then the same thing happens when you hand the coin. But this one, you actually recognize this a little bit, Mog, because you have some experience in language. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of talking about. There's a phonetic drift here from standard old. Like it's a lot of technical terms again, academic terms about the difference in the language that they recognize. And saying this is definitely derived from Old Elvish, but without the influences of Common and Dwarvish that modern Elvish has inside of it, and borrowed words and terms. So this is a 100% original. Basically, they're talking about the equivalent as if you were speaking Saxon English today, which is a somewhat. It's a it's modern English, but instead they use only Saxon-derived words.
Yeah,
Or
it's
Germanic
much more
derived words.
Germanic sounding. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
basically,
yes,
so things, so
I'm
no
off to
no
visit the
romance
town
language.
of Winchester.
Well, no, it's more like if you're talking about I study subatomics. It's instead I studied the little bigs or the big makers, things like that. Basically, it's using only Germanic-based words instead of Romance-based words, where atom and atomic are Romance-based or Latin-based. Where, yeah. So basically, this is Elvish, but without any other derived terms from.
So
Other
it's like people talking in Age of Empires speak. I will. I mean so.
So
Kinda, yeah. But they say that. So this.
So Miss
I don't know
Ayla,
about whatever
would you-
else you've been saying. Definitely tell that this is an interesting Elven dialect. I have not seen it before. Not even Lenore-based Elvish uses it, because that derives from modern Elvish. So this is completely divorced from modern language, which
almost as if
does-
they evolved in isolation on an island.
It's medieval ages, dear. What does evolve mean? What does evolve? Sorry, that's just me fucking around.
Like the cultural
Fucker.
habitation of them happened across a nigh on impassable strait of water.
I don't know. What you're saying though doesn't. Yaren hasn't been seen for centuries. Centuries. and
We're not
centuries, and
saying it's definitely Yaren, but descendants of the people that went with him.
Yeah, those haven't been seen for centuries either, and I don't know of, and they're all looking around each other trying to, because they all have different expertise. I don't know of anybody who's found a civilization in the wilderness of Orlin. Say,
If you don't
especially-
believe us, would you like me to cast a spell called Zone of Truth?
I would. I'm not familiar. We don't. I am not a mage or a magic.
It's a
Rivallon
spell that
walks
makes
in.
it impossible
Magic.
for us to
I
lie.
volunteer to tell the truth.
It's a spell that makes it impossible for people to lie within the sphere.
By the way, rival, look up in the items section. Look up musket. One of them there is the standard shot version of the musket that you had.
Items.
I'll have to.
My Lady Sesh or Master Isaac, I think we should ask our other companions here. Would you be able to send them a message?
Musket.
Pulls out the sending stone. Calling for all.
Calling all turquoise
Calling all-
company. Calling all turquoise company. Oh, there
Call
it
signs
is.
Angry Man and Sniper Dude. This is Sunshine Kid. I'm calling.
Angry man and sniper dude.
That sounds like a bad '90s first-person shooter.
Angry Man, Sniper Dude, Sunshine Kid.
I
That's
take
what
it under weapons,
Uh,
Roach, but under which what?
Requesting your presence at the.
No, just go to the items,
Book
Yeah.
Lady house.
and then just type in musket in the search bar at
There.
the bottom.
Chat just said, please keep those nicknames.
Okay, I'm on my way.
It's not saying anything, Roach.
Do you have no musket there? You should have two different variants. You sure you have all of the correct books and stuff selected?
Does it have to have a capital M?
No, it shouldn't matter.
I found
It's
it
not
with
that-
a capital M.
It's not coming up.
Yeah, you
I've
need
got it
go to
under
library.
item.
Go to the library bottom right hand corner and make sure that you've got all of the rule books that you need, because I know that's a problem for you.
Sessions Dragon Lady, Mog is book nerd.
Yeah, she
No,
is.
it should be bookworm. Bookworm and what? Dragon Mama. Dragon Mama.
Mama. Oh no. Okay. I'm sticking with it.
Okay, when you click items, the,
Dragon Mama,
the
Dragon Mama,
square
this is
the
Sunshine
square
Kid,
button
Desmond.
in the main screen, not your character sheet.
Yes.
You go to items.
Yes.
Okay, and you have all selected in the top right group or the top
Yep.
group.
Yes.
Thing, all. Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing you see there is like abacus, right? Or
No, I got nothing.
you got nothing.
No,
Okay, then your
No,
books.
not without the search.
Oh, without a search.
Abacus.
Abacus. Okay. You got no selected things.
Yeah, mine's not working either, Roach.
Onto a sheet.
Doesn't make sense. You can find it, right?
Yeah, I can find it.
Midge, like the musket rival mod.
I can only find Musket Dungeon Master's Guide.
Dungeon Master.
Which you told me not to have.
We haven't
Which
got
is the one-
Dungeon Master's
It
Guide.
does have the burst fire and the reload.
Okay, well that's an actual gun. Okay, hold on. Let me just
But
this to you.
I'm gonna with the ladies. I'm just gonna.
All right, I
There
think I
is
put it
a-
in your character sheet. We'll see if that worked. I don't know.
What under map?
Items. Inventory.
Inventory. Let's get rival mod.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I'll need to make the area of effect one, or you can
And-
place that in there with that as a basis.
Oh,
Because these use the
awesome.
same range.
1d12 plus 3 piercing.
Lady, the reason we come to you today...
And I just have to get more proficient with it. Then I get my full proficiency.
And then you take the feat sharpshooter to always add 10 damage flat for a -5 to hit whenever you shoot.
Yes.
And
Don't worry.
you do
Oh, that
silly
shit.
amount of damage. Ladies, we come to you today from General Vo because this threat is very real, and we know that your expertise will help us confirm this. We are to be meeting with very influential people within the dynasty, and your confirmation would go a long way to helping us persuade those of
Did you go
far
send that
less
message to them?
Yeah.
I'm on my way.
established intellect.
Mr. Isaac, you overestimate us. I am a librarian. Most of us are librarians and scribes. We have very little power to do
It is
anything.
leave that
um,
to us. It's purely
You have much
A
higher
foreign.
chance of using General Vo to instigate some sort of plan for this threat, you say.
we
Um,
are. You missed my point. It's
And I am unsure as to why you need us.
we are not experts in the area's history. We come from far
I-
over, and you are helping
We-
us confirm our story.
Well, we can help you with anything that happened before the conquest, or during the conquest, or directly after the conquest. But that's where our expertise is mostly centered around. That, and also like various things like post-conquest agricultural changes and the cross Strait of Flowers trade between Lenore and the post-conquest colonization programs in Lenore and then their collapse. Various things like that. We know that. We can help you with that.
In your intellectual opinion, the evidence that we put forward, is it plausible? That's what I ask.
It's a stretch. It's a stretch. Won't lie to you. It's difficult to. You're talking about You're talking about a civilization that's just been in existence for 1,000 years without anyone knowing it is in existence. And now, after 1,000 years, decides it's gonna come back. It's
Have
kind of
you heard-
it's a hard sell.
Anniversaries, yo. They mean a lot.
Have you heard
It's a hard
of
sell.
the flare-ups of tensions on the other side of the mountains?
Oh yes, but Teutonia's been saber rattling for the last 20 years, and it's bound that those barbarians over the mountains are going to cause trouble at one point or another.
But don't you
Right.
think it's coincidental that it all happened at once?
Historically speaking, there's always a boiling point, a point in which
But
things
within a
just
couple of months, my
happen.
lady.
I am no expert on modern day politics. I think we've made that clear.
But historically, there would have been other examples of this.
To be fair, the plains have been at peace longer than they ever have been before. I believe. And written records. And oral histories. Well, oral histories are less precise. We can't be 100% certain on that
I take
point,
it
but-
our Uteshian rider and our Elven
They're probably
Sniper.
shouting at the
Walk
doorman
in
right now.
Yeah,
When
they're
you're talking about
walking.
the doorman's gone through the door. He said something
Has-
about not letting a barbarian and an obvious killer through into the party.
Mm.
That's just rude.
So I'll have you know.
Question
I'll
for
also
God.
say, the barbarian's wearing nice clothes and has been partying it up with people for the last like
I'm
2
a
weeks.
barbarian.
More noble than most
Yeah.
other people here.
You're barbarians.
Okay, fine. The
you're
guy said he couldn't take his kebab in with him.
you're barbarian.
I've been partying with high culture.
Yeah.
I've been going on hunting parties and things like that.
By the
I
way-
love the idea that Usinia's just been using this time pretending he's a prince, essentially.
He is a prince.
Yeah,
he's
right,
the heir.
whatever.
He's an heir. There's no heir
Rich
past
always
Demir.
undersells Justinia. Always. Not a lord, not a human.
It's just the cultural prejudice. It's what I'm going with. It's been the character cell the entire campaign. I can't drop it now.
Isaac's never said that though. Midge has said it lots of times.
Yeah.
Because
what I mean.
Midge is Isaac's racist under half. What's It's all that British uprising.
Oh, wait, don't
Don't
go there.
Go there.
You've got that the wrong way round. You've got that the wrong way round. Isaac is me with a filter.
Yeah, no, they get in. You said you were going to invite them, so they got in. But it's a hard sell. The evidence you have is fairly good. I've never seen this language before. I would say it's has much more weight with us, because we can read it and understand its origin points, at least somewhat. Some of these words don't mean anything, but that's probably because they're amalgam words from old Elvish that have kind of been used to create new words that it doesn't necessarily work in that point, especially like this and you read it, it's the word musket, but it doesn't.
Oh no, that
This
means
doesn't-
something.
Oh.
Don't worry.
This
That does
this
mean
doesn't.
something.
Well, no, I'm assuming it means whatever this is. It's the inventory of the land pattern muskets that they had at the storehouse.
We
Is that-
can
but
show
this-
you what one of those
But
is.
in Elvish, in modern Elvish, or in old Elvish that we know, this doesn't mean anything. This just means tube.
Oh.
Oh yeah, okay. This is a tube. It makes a big sound and kills
tube,
people.
Actually.
It's tube with a prefix on it that means flame. So it's like a flame tube or something like that. It doesn't
Yes,
mean
indeed.
much. So I'm saying is that with us it means something, but even that isn't fully. It doesn't like we can't perfectly read this. What I'm saying is that somebody who didn't know Elvish, old Elvish, and languages would have a problem with this because it wouldn't mean anything.
We've translated it into most of the common languages at the moment. But, okay, in your educated opinion,
I'm trying to give that to you.
what else do you think we'd need, given that you ladies live in this society and you know...
Oh, you're trying to convince the
No,
government?
We are trying to convince your government. We are convinced that
Oh.
this threat is imminent.
I've
There's
got
a lot
a way
of
we could
laughing.
convince them. We
There's
just have
a
to
lot
sit
of
around
laughing.
and wait for the army to come flying over. Literally flying over.
Yeah, there's a lot of giggles and laughing at the we're trying to convince the government of this. It's like, yeah, your elvish friend has a point. That would work, and be much easier and less.
We don't want hundreds and thousands
It
of
would be
innocents to die.
It would be.
Let's just say this: Let's just say this. And she gets whispering again because this is not supposed to be said aloud. Clan Dynasty's not necessarily too interested about anyone else other than other people in the Clan Dynasty.
Well informed about people like that. Do not worry.
Quite, especially right now. This is a bad time. this is a bad time with the
Tell me
with
when
the Air
war's a
Prince
good time.
with the Air Prince dead, and the current election
How did the
happening
Air
for the
Prince
new
die?
gout.
Oh, complications with gout.
Yes. Well, it was. Yes, in a way, there's a lot of embarrassment in that. He couldn't walk anymore. He tried to walk. He fell downstairs.
He
Was
fell
it-
down the stairs.
Did
A
was
lot of
anyone with
This is
him?
where like the CK2 screen comes up.
CK3, I
Cool.
just got a hook on some people there.
Cause of unknown causes for reason of death.
Was anyone with him when he fell?
Suspicious means.
Yes, actually, quite a few people. It was a bit of a spectacle.
Oh
Um,
no. Was it
it's a
like
bit of a
at
spectacle.
ball and he just
It was a bit of a spectacle. He was meet. The Air Prince has duties where he meets the high society and the merchants and the mayor in a big greeting. And there's a small flight of stairs between his level of the castle and the level of the room that he met people in. And it has railings, but he was waving, and I hear that basically he took a misstep, and the girth of him couldn't be stopped by his guard, and it just happened. And it's a spiral staircase, so it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was a bit of a spectacle, and it's been talked about ad nauseum since it happened.
like pushing a boulder down a helter-skelter.
As it's thankfully it was almost instantaneous because he was quite a large man. And so yes, with I wrote that in, and I never thought it would happen that you guys would ask about it, but I'm so glad.
We are so suspicious, Roach.
Yeah,
I know,
I
know.
don't
I'm
think that's
still
something we need to be
suspicious.
suspicious about, honestly.
Quite literally, it was just like
we
it's
treat
like, hello, people.
Have you guys-
started going down?
have you guys seen like Gel's Marble Olympics? That's just what's going through my head.
The only sporting event that deserves to be in function right now during the pandemic. That's just that marble channel is amazing.
Well,
Yeah, that happened, and that's what I'm saying is with that happening and the current Air Prince being elected soon, or princess, it's there's a lot going on between them. I don't expect you to get a lot done with the most of them. I'd expect most of them to be scheming. The Clan Dynasty has like I like my country. I like living here, but it's those.
What you're describing
Yeah.
is a perfect target for a first strike.
I suppose I know very little about military strategy. If you look, I'd be more comfortable if you were talking about agricultural advancements over the last 1,000 years. I focus a lot on that. That's an aspect that I.
Justinia takes the moment to chime in. In this situation where you describe the princes and princesses, they should be motivated by self-interest as much as for the good of the state, with the fact that, to put it in terms that you might recognize, it would be like going from plowing animals to having to dig the ground back with your bare hands.
You know that I understand that reference. I get that. I get it.
In America, fuck off.
These people that will come, I've seen with own eyes what the creatures can do. There will be nothing left of this city. It will be ashes.
I understand you, and you're making me very apprehensive about actually being here, given the fact that I can't leave since I work here. But
Sucks to be you.
Excuse my friend.
You don't understand just how vindictive and these people are. I would highly doubt it if Ralof Justicar Kalan would give any any shits about this city burning.
I suppose maybe if it burns whilst they're in it.
Even then, he's
He'll have a
lived
way
a
to
long
escape.
life. Well, that or he just might like to see his enemies burn, even if he's going. He's lived a long 80 years. Saw him one. Now this time goes into an anecdotal story that he's telling to all the
80
other
years.
girls.
And
God, I'm
you
older
call
than
my
you.
people
Fifty.
barbarians.
And I saw him one time, just a man of wrinkles, just wrinkles, barely nothing there, but wrinkles and a lot of hate in those eyes, a lot of hate in those eyes.
Ustinia leans over to
did
Sesh
not
and
like him.
whispers, and they think that my people are the barbarians.
Let's just say there's a lot of the 15 branches of the Kalan family hate everyone else in the family.
15 cadet dynasties. That's. Ooh.
Well, shit.
They're not cadet branches. They're all equal branches because there's no central branch because they all elect each other to the head. There's no hereditary.
Basically,
no
imagine
hereditary.
every HRE family being all part of one larger family, basically, right?
Isn't that what happened though?
No. Eventually.
Well, no, that was after the HRE when the Habsburgs took over.
Ah, fair enough,
That's
yeah.
what made you
Yeah,
think,
true.
yeah. No,
Yep.
but this is even worse. No, it's like, do you not know how things work here?
We have
we
a
do.
rough idea, but none.
Well,
the
there are
only
various-
person from this area, of course, was orphaned, and we
There are 15 branches of the Kalan dynasty that have only been in existence from the original Kalan, who was a great general in the Conquest. And all of his children became the various branches, and then they split off. But part of the country is that they're all equal voting blocks, though more equal than others, especially the ones that lost their holdings over the Strait of Flowers 50 so years ago. But they all hold various landed areas, mostly. There's a couple that don't have lands. And they all vote. They all get a vote. Even the family of the branch that is the current High Prince gets a vote. Though he's not the voting one, it's his sister who is currently the voting member, the leader of that branch.
Is she hot?
I'll have to answer that
I
question.
wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask her. Wouldn't ask her that. Because,
No, I wasn't. I was asking you.
well,
Is
the
there-
Shah Morlan Kalan is a very... What's a good way
Maybe
of
stop while
saying
you're
this?
ahead. Maybe stop while you're
Yes.
ahead.
She is the sister of the monarch in rule right now, and I don't know you that well, so this could all just be a sting operation for all I know.
Rivallon, I
It's
guess
a
no.
sting. Pull out
With
back.
Yeah, she's ugly.
Fort police.
Listen, but then again, they hate each other, so it might
She makes
that might
the
work.
Grim Reaper's passport photo look good.
The sister, the current sister to the High Prince is they don't like each other a lot. Especially, there's been a lot of infighting there for a while. But no, everybody has lands. It used to be one city per branch, but unfortunately, a lot of the fighting up north with the Arthurian the Arthurian Empire over the centuries. Those
Arthurians,
fiefdoms were
do
split.
Do they come into the Killian Empire's borders often?
Oh, not anymore. There's a treaty that currently stipulates a border with
In the last couple of hundred years?
Yes, I forget the exact date. Unfortunately, I'm not good at recent events. As
And
I've
Mog puts
stated
a shoulder on hand on Rivallon's shoulder.
multiple times, but they haven't come by a lot. They're more focused on their colony and over the Strait of Flowers. They have they have a colony they've carved out, and they fight with the locals over the lands. So they are less interested in conquering us or Osnia. But yes, actually, Osnia is the one that negotiated that treaty, since they're the ones that usually had to deal with both sides fighting over the border. But no, it's a mess. It's a mess. If you're going to be trying to negotiate with these people, with the dynasty, you should probably brush up on things. I'm just going to say that. There's a lot there. There's a lot. At least the leaders of the various branches.
Most influential branches. I know they all have their own voting rights, but there's. The Primus Nassar branch. Nassar is a city, and as I was saying before, cities used to have a singular branch inside of them. Unfortunately, since reductions in the imperial, in the dynasty's borders, those have been subdivided amongst various branches as much as they can. So Nassar has two branches, a Primus and a secondary branch in there. The Primus branch is currently the one that High Prince Ilroth Kalan is a part of. His sister, Lashar Morlan Kalan, leads it in his stead. They hate each other quite vehemently. If the rumors are true, she's striving to become the next vice princess, with the heir princess to the throne. She has quite a block behind her. I guess the next one, for no other reason than they're more supported, would be the Bear Hollow Primus branch. Would be Nassar Amra Kalan X. He is pretty close in voting, from rumors say, for no other reason than the fact that he's supported, though rumor has that he's not that. He's very he likes a lot of shiny things. He leads nominally the 2nd, 7th, and 12th orders as their commanding officers. Commanding officer between them fancies himself a military man, though wouldn't notice it from looking at him. You think him avaricious?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Avaricious. When you say
Um,
shiny things, do you mean in that sort of sense, or more pride?
He it's very easily led. Very easily led is a nice way of saying it. Very easily led, or guided towards various things. Those are the two main blocks from what I've heard, but there's obviously 13 other branches that exist. Some with lands, some without lands, some with ceremonial lands over the sea. And there are some with some recent, very new leaders. There's that young girl. Who is she? And he like snaps her fingers and is trying to think of it. Nala Adleth Kalan III from Belrot, the smallest branch in Belrot. She's only, I think, a 15. Not the youngest that's going to be a part of the voting block, but
Oh God.
Is that 15 in common years or elf years?
well, I don't think there's any full elf in the dynasty. I think the closest you could get would be Nassar the 10th. He's about as full elf as you get, maybe. I've never actually seen them. It's all rumor. I don't. Obviously, I'm a librarian.
Gosh, these are the kind of people that wear like fake ear extensions to make themselves look more elf, aren't they? That's what we're going to be dealing with. Oh.
Rivallon
Like,
kind of sneaks up to the side of Isaac and goes, "We need to get into that library."
And then there's also the twins of the two unlanded branches, Aaron and Aisha clan. They both vote. That one's a weird one, but then again, their family hasn't had lands in a long time, so I'm not sure what's going on there. No, I think yes. If I'm looking through, yes, I believe the fullest elf you could get would be nope. You also have the Helstein branch, the Primus branch, by Aeon Tuldul Kalan. He's almost full elf, and looks very much like it, kind of. Does wear a wig. Seen him once.
Do you know when the last full elf of the Kalan dynasty might have been around?
There never was.
Never?
Was. These guys
No,
overthrew the
Kalan.
elves.
No, the original Kalan is. Hold on, let me actually look that up because it's been a while. Setting notes, Kalan dynasty notes. Let's see here. Kalan dynasty.
We should
otherwise
probably
known as
go to break
Principality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The original Kalan is Thuman Kalan, who was general or commander Thuman Kalan, who was overall commander of the occupation forces in the Southern Empire.
And he was human.
After. Yes, very human, painfully human. I've seen pictures of him. He has portraits in the palace. Squat, balding, very pudgy nose.
So I take it the elf blood in the Kalan dynasty came from
It's a lot of
noble
intermarriage
families.
happened.
There's a lot of
Local,
noble families.
there are a
that
lot of
stayed
local
behind.
elven families that tried to get in with the new government and that kind of, and that helped it. Kalan had a lot of kids, even at the time when he was a commander. I think he had 7 living sons at the time, out of 20 children. Though most of them had died at that point. But either way, the 7 that were living, they all got married off to local nobility to try and integrate more.
So when the Exodus happened with Yaren, sorry to go back to history, and this will probably be one
Yes,
of our final
that-
questions.
Yes, because this is I know
noble
this.
families-
Yes,
noble families stayed behind.
most did.
wasn't everyone.
Yaren didn't give up. He didn't give up. The most likely the fire that the sacred tree / palace that destroyed it was set probably by the guard in the retreat to the harbor, and then whoever was still loyal, commanders, government officials, a couple of noble families, things like that, they all went with him to the royal fleet. And they set off. Also with most of the riches of the dynasty. Or not their dynasty, but not this dynasty, the dynasty beforehand. It's a very...
Following you, I'm following.
Yes. Yes. This is one of the reasons why, academically, the dynasty, this current dynasty, is known as the Principality, the Kalan Principality, since it's all princes. But... It's neither here nor there. But yes, most stayed. It's a small number left. I would believe Yaren had maybe I don't know. And they talk amongst themselves. Less than 20,000 in total left. Most of that was military.
1,000 years later, though, that is quite the population.
And it's enough to keep families from intermingling too much.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all we really know about that. That's an estimate given on the numbers. There was some first-hand accounts of the size of the fleet, and that would be what
Any
we're
of
getting that
those
from.
local elven nobility still have lines alive today? In power?
Not with any power, because all former noble titles held by the old Elven Imperial lines was negated when the Principality established itself as a nation. I was a part of it, as they negated all previous noble lines.
So none wormed their way back in.
Well, obviously through bloodlines, some of them exist, but not in their own name. Obviously, Kalan is the only name that has power over tracts of land in this nation.
What about in positions of authority? Are there any people with historical lineage in, say, generalship?
Well,
As you know. Any notable
somewhat.
families that are still relatively full-blooded?
Somewhat, though they usually trace their lines back, or at least they say they trace their lines back to the Conquest as a great general during the Conquest, or an officer during the Conquest. Actually, funny enough, I think the only general who doesn't have a great line of family names who are also generals or military officers would probably be your friend, General Vogue.
General Vogue.
Yes, I believe he was a ranker.
Well,
Might be
So
why
all
he's
of the oth-
having.
yeah, that would be why he's having trouble getting through to a lot of the other generals. Oh dear. So he's in Gold Brand. He's a corporal in Gold Brand. But so none of the other generals say that no one's
They
overtly
might
proud
have.
of being local nobility at one stage.
You'll notice there's a varying degree of how much the previous old elven line carries in its prestige. The dynasty doesn't focus too much on the former imperial bloodlines of the old elves. The Arthurian Empire places a strong emphasis on integration when it was established and as a form of legitimacy. The dynasty more did it through force of will and arms at the time. So he's not here as much. You might get some lines that exist. I believe there are still quite a few lines that have that lineage in the Arthurian Empire up north, but that's about all you'd really find. Maybe a couple in the Kingdom of Bamrad or Barmed, but
Well,
about what you
thank
get.
you.
Thank you for your time.
it has been an interesting time. Very interesting.
Feel free to keep that coin.
Thank you. We'll put it in our collection. Or my collection. We'll put it somewhere. Don't worry. Yes.
I'm gonna take back this paperwork. I'm sorry. It's the originals.
I understand that.
You can have the
I'm
transcript.
going to take my tube of fire with me.
All right.
And with that, I think we'll go to break. So we'll
Yeah.
be back in 5 to 10 minutes' time. Go get yourself some refreshments. Sorry that we went slightly over this half, but I think we needed to close up that conversation with them. Anyway, we will see you very soon.
I hope you guys weren't expecting.
Whoops.
Oopsie doodle.
There you go. It's fixed.
Fab.
Okay.
So yes, we leave the residence.
All right. You leave the residence. I'm going to say you spent probably a better part of the afternoon there, just enjoying company and talking about the imminent doom of the city that these women work in and have no way of leaving.
I don't know how we're gonna do this.
There's a very high possibility that they just might ignore us. And in that situation, what do we do?
That is the
We go to
question.
Plan B, we hire a small ship, we sail out, and we take on a fucking navy on our own.
I would like to point out that was my second question. Do you guys want me to contact Sedna? Sedna
Who's
Marisol?
Sedna?
The pirate we know.
Who we helped get a ship. Her dad's ship.
I have more than a few questions, but a ship would be handy, I think.
Not just any ship. At
Sorry,
this
I'm a
point,
bit
from what I
angry
hear,
at the moment.
I
it's
wanna
several
get into
hundred
that
ships.
library.
She does have a several hundred ship navy, but the question would be, what's in it for her?
Money. And access to these weapons. Imagine her with those weapons.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Yeah, let's not give a navy full of Rivallon's cannons. Okay.
No, you see, the reason we give
love
them
how
cannons,
your
right?
only bargaining chip since you've gotten here has just been like, we have a gun. Take it. It's not,
Well, you see,
you are like the British when you try when they colonized America. It's like let us have this land. Here's some guns. Go kill the others.
That's what the French did more than us.
It doesn't really. It happened. It's just-
listen, right, all I'm
Actually,
saying
no,
is that
I'll rephrase that. The French went to the natives. Here, have some guns. Go shoot that person in the red coat. Go.
Go shoot the British. Go do
I
it
mean,
them.
we enjoy doing
Blue,
that.
good.
There you go.
Red, bad.
Bad. Yes, I agree.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh, red versus blue is actually just the 7 Years' War.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It could be argued it's also the tail end of the Napoleonic War.
Oh, true, yeah. But yeah,
Hello, we've got a navy and you've got an army. Luckily, those two don't meet on the same field.
Well, we're done here.
See you in
Yeah,
a few years when we
listen.
come back to Portugal.
oh boy. So, like, listen. I think giving Sedna a way to beat the Silver Sands is a good idea. Because I think the Silver Sands are assholes. So,
The
Yes,
problem
absolutely.
is, where does it stop? Because now we have given these powerful weapons to a force that they'll possess it that no one else will.
Oh god.
Have
you guys
we
are
just
shitty-
traded one invader for another?
You guys are just shitty Percy from Critical Role, where he did everything he could to stop guns from existing outside of his control. You're just giving them out to people.
listen, man, I don't care.
Put it this way. The technological advancement is going to come one way or another now that they're here, either through them invading and everyone grabbing what's left, or us arming people to fight them back and then dealing with the consequences of that. But
Is it worth
It's-
me having a look in on Salah and Ulrund and Volrund and seeing where they are? If I
I'm
can.
always
Yeah.
for looking in on Salah.
Oh god.
What?
Absolute horn dog.
If the
You
DM
called
was
me
nice, I
And this
wouldn't
man-
be.
And this man on his stream called my character horny.
Rivallon, there are plenty of ladies that you could possibly buy here. I'll buy you one.
What the,
Leave.
the phrasing was amazing. That was great. Yeah.
Listen, we
Well,
need to make
in all
decisions on this.
seriousness, I honestly do not think handing over these weapons, which, let's face it, in my hands are dangerous, in untrained hands of pirates who are merely using them to rob and pillage and plunder wherever they can, a short-term possible ally, and I stress possible,
True.
is not worth a long-term, major-ass problem for the entire freaking continent.
It'll be a major ass problem when these people turn up either way.
Yeah.
Like, one of the main reasons
You're
we are
missing point. You are absolutely missing point. We are trying to avoid having a major problem. You do not do that by avoiding major problem and changing for
creating
another major
problem.
problem.
Yes, I see what you're saying,
Like,
but what do we think is worse? This is the question.
I think both are bad options. I think
But which is
we-
the worst of the two options?
You
Why are
can't
we
put this down to
discussing-
lesser of two evils.
no.
Why are we
can't.
talking
No.
as if we only have these options?
We don't. I was about to
Exactly.
make- Yes.
I want to get into that library.
I want
That's-
you to take me with
that-
you.
That's one thing we should definitely think about doing.
Could definitely
What
do
I
that.
was going to say is we do have the advantage that we know something very informative about them, about our enemy, is that they're very reliant on leadership.
Yes.
Mm.
If no one believes us and there's no way of stopping the attack, who's to say that we can't head over there and pick our targets a little bit, make it a little bit easier for the defenders? When it does,
You're talking about becoming an assassin.
I'm talking about, yes, taking out.
I'm in.
I'm
We already
talking
have
about.
an assassin.
Everyone points at Rivallon.
I'm
We
in.
saw their fighting style. We know how that was very reliant on some sort of officer system.
Seriously, had me at assassin.
Yes, I know, but that's gotta go all the way up. Whoever's in charge of this invasion fleet, which we do have the name of, we had the name of the person in charge of the. We know roughly what the uniforms are of their officer corps. We can just start tactically picking them off before we get there, blowing up certain ships, doing some damage. We
You
would
want
need
us
to
to
find
become
a
a
way.
group of sappers?
Not
Well, no,
necessarily.
I was thinking more along the lines of 4 sappers and an assassin.
I was thinking more along
I
the
mean,
lines
I'm pretty
of
sure
them-
Isaac and I can burn down a few boats.
Oh yes.
You're not the only one who can burn.
Exactly.
High five,
But,
sister.
Seriously.
However, I am
this
one of
one
the
over
only people
here
that can
has got some
fly
serious
here.
burns.
Point. Yeah.
I'd rather not use
Yeah,
fire
so-
though for my own personal reasons, but I can destroy ships.
Yes. So if I was flying out of range and you guys were firing down, we could take out a few boats.
We just got to figure out which boats have the leadership on it.
The biggest.
It's
with the
always the
prettiest
biggest.
sails.
That's a
And
good
something
guess.
we do know about these weapons is they go boom.
Good point. You catch their, what do they call it? Powder
What?
sources.
The yes. What did the gnome call it?
Blasting powder?
Blasting powder. Yes.
Something like that.
Alchemical powder, whatever it was.
So our plan is, if these people don't believe us, we become
Hail Mary.
sappers, and we leave Sedna out of it entirely.
By the sounds of it, she sounds like a pirate, and
Very much.
I
so.
think we use her as a scout.
Huh.
She could help us locate them, or passage to them.
I can help
I guess.
locate.
No, it's
That's
not
true.
so much that. It's she has
Do you
hundreds
do you
of
get
ships.
a GPS coordinates? Yes, it's a wide bit of ocean.
She could literally work as
Information.
no, not just information, but a skirmishing.
But again, what's in it for her? This is the problem.
That's the thing. She's a pirate. We didn't say that she had to sink the ships.
She'd get more ships out of it.
We are again giving them access to the cannons and other weapons then.
Yeah.
Which is
Yes,
the problem
but she's
we're
having
trying
to
to
get them
avoid.
herself rather than us providing them.
Let's
And
face
if
it,
these people are as well trained as they are,
Who's to say Sedna will live through it? As bad as it is to say that.
I have a feeling that Miss Mystical Sword and Magic Ship will make it through that kind of thing. The rest of her ships maybe not, but
oh yeah,
Mm.
I've got a feeling that this
Mystical
magic,
ship?
Yeah,
It was in a
long story.
cave. There was water. There was no water. It was,
was
up in the air. It wasn't up in the air. It's a long story. Don't bother. Just go okay and move on.
Schrodinger's
There you go.
battleship.
Have you ever read
Schrödinger.
that fantasy novel, Pirates of the Caribbean?
I have. I've read most books. Oh,
Yes.
we want to go into the library, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I change into Miss Aleph.
So,
Oh,
Hello.
How tall are you?
I can grow or drop a foot.
Yeah, how tall are you?
6 something.
6 something? All
I
right,
think you
it's
said you were
barely.
6 flat, wasn't it? I think. Could be misremembering.
She's
Oh.
not a tall
Uh,
woman.
You've
So
got
if,
marked
if
many
it's
faces.
if it's 6, then yeah, you're just
I'm
barely
6'3".
6. Yeah, it's not as noticeable as it could have
Okay.
been, but it's close. It's close in
It's
terms of
not,
height.
It's not like Slash doing it. She's 7'2" or whatever.
Yeah, no,
7,
Sesh couldn't do
6.
it.
Yeah. No.
I
No,
learned
no.
something new. Hi.
Well, that's a wonderful new skill.
yeah,
Hmm.
I'll have
right.
to do it tomorrow. I'll have to do it tomorrow because I just used it.
It's at will.
Yeah, but don't you have a
Cool
a
down.
certain amount of times you can do it per day?
I don't think so. Let me check.
Mask of many faces. I don't think she does.
Ford's used it about 10 times per day.
Yeah.
If we're going
She's
with that.
essentially that guy from Game of Thrones who can be whoever he wants to be.
Ah, the
You
man
mean
of
the
many faces.
entire the entire faceless man force?
Yeah.
All
yeah,
of them.
them.
Mhm.
Those ones.
Them.
Classes. Warlock invocations. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be there in a sec.
Mask of many faces. It's a fifth level invocation.
There you go.
Said no always seemed like a
You can
decent
cast
person.
disguise self at will without expending a spell slot. That's all it does.
All right then. Just making sure.
It's just you have to be at least level 5.
Right. Okay. That's good to know.
Level 10.
Just checking.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we figured that out. Yeah. So what are y'all doing?
So we're gonna go see Friedrich.
I don't know what Bosch is gonna.
Probably
Well,
scream.
Let's go anyway. Let's find out. We know what his
Just
cart
send me
looks
in
like. We know
first.
of
He
the
doesn't
area.
like me.
Yeah, no, he
He's
doesn't like either of
Titanian.
us. We just knock on the door. We just go, "Hello, Mr. Bosch. Remember us?"
Slams the door. Cart goes flying down the road.
Bosch sounds
Uh,
Teutonian. Is he Teutonian?
He's very Teutonian.
Painfully.
Ich spreche
Tony.
ein bisschen Teutonisch.
So,
Wasn't that an impression of that famous bard, Seamus O'Connery?
So, you had to where you've been told Bosch's wagon cart is located. It's somewhat outside of the city, just like in an open lot. You see no horses nearby, just the cart, kind of against like a low wall that's bisecting this like open lot. It doesn't look as good as it used to. It's not as prim and proper. It's definitely wear and tear. One of its wheels is a different, slightly color than the rest of the wagon, like a different wood. And some of the finery on the outside, because there's like a little window that had like some drapes and stuff, and you can see like some of the drapes are just a little bit frayed, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just a cart sitting kind of out in the middle of
I
nowhere.
go to the back door and just knock.
I'm back to
Ah.
Mog.
Who's there?
Mr. Bosch, we've met before. My name's Isaac. He met us in Gorgon.
Like a little. As he walks over and you see the cart kind of sway a little bit on its springs, and door opens, and you see a very different man. Same man, but a man who's seen some stuff. It looks like he's got his
This man.
See some stuff, man.
his
Believe what
clothing
I've
is his clothing's a bit more wrinkled and ratty than you saw last time.
I cast prestidigitation on him to clean him up.
His beard has grown in a lot more. It used to be somewhat like kind of managed, but now it's just kind of like haphazard, a little ratty. Along with his hair, which is longer, it hasn't been cut in a while, and it's kind of ratty, and he's also kind of like part of it's off to the side, like he's just been like sleeping in a really weird angle, with the hair. And his eyes are a little squinty because there's no light on the inside of this wagon. As you can see, it's like squinting to the midday sun. It's like, wait. You helped me. Isaac.
Isn't the library.
Yes. I remember you. And your cursed friend, yeah.
Not cursed anymore, luckily.
Oh, that's good, or else I would have told you to go away.
Yeah, those, of course. The curse moved on to someone else. It's great.
It's less good.
We have a lot to talk about. I wondered if
do
you'd
now,
advanced your studies anymore since we last spoke in terms of Seagull.
But generally, I've been trying to advance my work and my papers. Unfortunately, various geopolitical situations forced me to run from things.
He's Teutonian. He's had to try through.
I was in Tarkova a couple of weeks ago. I had to board
Were you there when the airship went kaput?
I came in when that happened. Then the war. Well, the war was declared. It hasn't been declared, but there's been fighting. People are dying. It's war. That happened. That happened, and I had to board a sky ship that was transporting coal from there to the north, and I had to get to boarding aboard another sky ship that was transporting smoked fish, like northern fish, just tons of that. And I ran out of money and ended up here. So.
Well,
I'm here. I've been here for a while. I'm waiting. I have accounts. Unfortunately, none of my messages to the capital have made it. They are back. I'm not sure which. They had the route through Rapkus, so that's going to be a few months for money. Since then, I've been doing a community service for money.
Herr Bosch.
I hand
yes.
I'm
Yes,
sorry, we've not
I hand-
met. My name's Mogwith. Can we buy you dinner?
Oh. I don't want to impose on any
You
of
would
you.
not be
I,
imposing.
I was about to hand him 7 platinum.
are you midway doing it, or are you just gonna keep going and just like give him that?
I was just gonna go. Well, since you've helped us before, and you seem to be a little more down on your luck here, take this.
Things aren't great.
I give
Things
him
aren't
7
great
platinum.
right now. Thank you. I've been teaching people how to read for coppers for the last month.
So that's 70 gold I've just given him essentially. So
Yes. He kind of like puts it into a pocket and then like make sure it's still in there and then kind of goes down. Yes, it's been a while.
I assume you'll be happy to help us with.
I had to
some
sell
more-
my horse.
I'm glad you didn't eat it.
Thought about it. Thought about it real hard.
So, we've had some interactions with. Do you remember us talking about Seagull a lot? Well, we managed
Yes.
to have,
Cursed. Yes. Yes.
since then, we've discovered a lot of things that are going to sound very bizarre, but go with us.
Right?
There seems to
I
be.
want to sit down, by the way.
That's
I don't
why
have
I
any
was
chairs.
thinking dinner.
Sold them.
I
and
would rather not.
alcohol.
I would rather do the information bit here, and then we can progress to dinner later. Yes. So since then, we have discovered that there is a civilization of elves descended from Yaren, the old ruler of these lands here, that made it to Orland across the Yaren's Folly, and have been living there and have technologically advanced over. They are worshippers of Seagull as a sect, but they know her as the All-Mother. They have since lost the trappings of their, or partially lost the trappings of their elven deities from before, and now follow her, and they are coming here with an invasion force. And we were wondering if you had any more information about Seagull or anything that could pertain to help us in any way, shape, or form to do
Or
with
the
that.
ancient Elvish cultures of this place, or
Yes.
anything. Please don't roll a one. Please don't roll a one.
He just faints.
Or, my,
Right?
or of my
That makes sense.
my ancestors.
What? That makes sense? Okay, okay. We just found the conspiracy theorist that believes us. Let's go. Let's go, boys.
Shouldn't be here. Let's go.
What do you know about my ancestors?
That's a completely different sentence.
Do you need to take a picture?
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
I bet it's nat 20. Or something.
They're just like, I never noticed it before, but you have the exact
Yeah.
hallmark of someone from this
I'm gonna-
dynasty. No.
I'm gonna
You are
point out-
actually you are
Yeah, you're
Yaren's
actually
heir.
the true heir to the throne of the
Yeah.
Kalan dynasty.
You look exactly like Yaren.
He
You are
wasn't so
Yaren
celibate.
Reborn.
I'm gonna point out.
Exception. Okay. Goddamn it.
I'm gonna point out. Friedrich has a +7 to his history check.
Oh, nice.
So
I should get alcohol.
No,
you should.
So,
I should.
so with the roll, which I just posted in chat, he's got a +7.
Oh.
Oh my god! It's an 18 plus 7.
Beautiful.
Plus 7!
So that's a 25. Or is that on knowledge?
That's on
of...
Rivallon's heritage.
That's like
Okay.
history check, and
Yeah.
he knows a lot of history. He's a very well-read, very respected researcher
So just
who has been shit on for the last 6 months of his life because of geopolitical shit and
Yeah.
running out of money. He looks at you and you say, "Tell me about my ancestors," and he just looks at you for a second, looks you up and down, and goes, "Well, judging by your accent and your general demeanor, as well as your ear length and your eye color, you most likely are from somewhere around the mid Elven lands, which encompasses both northern Kalan and the middle and lower portions of the Ithridian dynasty, mostly the eastern part of the Ithridian dynasty near the mountains."
I asked about my ancestors, not my heritage.
Well, that's about all I can really get from there. You also,
No, that actually
you
helps.
also are
That
aware.
helps.
You're also, if I was to take you directly from what you have here, you have armor that is definitely of some sort of odd make. I'd say probably
it's all the-
Uteshian make inside of its fastenings and its construction. Your weapon is definitely elven made, probably sometime around the 8th century, and
And swords?
your boots and your boots are of dwarvish make, local, probably some silver sand factory made them, and your swords are a mix. I'd say a general mix somewhere around the plains. They like to borrow from elven culture somewhere around the 15th
Okay,
century.
and what
the
about
current dwarves?
Abigail?
No idea.
Excellent.
So that's actually one thing about this civilization we found. They seem to be a bit further in technological
They're certainly
advancement.
more
Makes sense.
chemical.
Why do you say it makes sense?
I don't know. At this point, I'm not. At this point, I'm willing to believe it.
Very well. Can you tell us?
I saw a dragon burn down a skyship.
Wait,
You
a
saw
dragon?
the dragon?
What colour dragon?
Go back.
Pause. Rewind that shit.
Color dragon.
You guys could have talked to him at any point during the campaign, and he's seen shit, but you guys just forgot about him for
What?
months.
Color dragon.
Black.
Well, it was in the middle. It was twilight while I was passing underneath the sky ship. So
I
it
point
was
to
black.
Rivallon's armor. This is of an Orlan
Yeah.
shadow dragon. Could it be one of those? Because we found people riding those from this civilization.
Probably.
Fucking hell. Why is Bosch the key to this fucking campaign?
The man has seen stuff. The man
Hello.
has been
Seen
working.
stuff.
This
So the
man
only
has been
people that know
traveling
what's
across-
going on is us lot and a mad raving historian.
Mike has died.
This guy's basically Indiana Jones, but without the courage
Or Harrison Ford's good looks.
or good
Ruggedly
looks,
good looks.
or money, or in all honesty, money. Because
Or hats.
So he's
Or
He
an
is
insane
Harrison-
ability
he's
to survive a
Indiana
nuclear
Jones.
explosion
Yeah,
in a
he's Henry
fridge.
Jones. He's Henry Jones. He's
He's
Sean Connery's
Henry
character.
Jones.
He's Henry
Junior.
Junior. We named the dog Indiana.
I've seen
Oh
things.
my God, I love
I've
that
seen
line.
things these last couple of months. I've seen things. It makes sense. I'm gonna be honest.
If we brought you an awful lot of food and maybe a bath, would you tell us what you've
That'd
seen?
be nice. I mean, you've just given me 7 platinum. I can live off this for a while. Actually, a long
Well,
time.
I
Yeah,
still
I
wish to
gave
buy
him
you
about
them.
I gave him about what is that 70 months, like
70
living
days.
expense.
70
70
days
days.
of a
Of a, yeah, 70 days of a, like a middle class.
of an
living.
skilled worker's salary.
Yeah,
Skilled
which is
worker's
what he
salary.
would be on essentially.
No, he's you guys don't understand just how respected this shell of a man is as an academic. This guy.
No, we
This
don't.
guy's on sabbatical. He got the cart to travel the world and write a paper for his vacation, and it's just gone to shit.
So
Like,
we
it's-
take him.
Bosh.
We
Bosh,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
are willing
Mm.
to help us by answering our questions and giving us any insight you can, I've got another 9 platinum pieces for you.
Done.
also
You just got 9
you-
platinum pieces off of Rivallon.
Also, you have academic rights and dibs on the information that we find. For now.
That'd be great. I don't have any ink anymore. I had to sell that and my right.
We'll
hand.
buy you
some
ink.
I've got
We've
lots
got
of
a lot of
vegetables
ink.
in her bag and give
To
them-
be fair, I could buy it myself. I haven't really written anything since the war started. Yeah.
Whoa.
Also,
got one.
being called
I need
crazy, being called crazy by the local law enforcement after I reported the dragon kind of didn't help a lot. But
That's fair enough. We've been dealing that ourselves.
the men
Yeah.
that I told, the men
You're
that I
really
told
experienced
seemed
Arab.
very, very trustworthy. They were wearing such pristine uniforms.
Were
Did
they
it look like
white?
this? Yeah, we just sent a sketch, sketch of these white uniforms.
No, they were wearing law enforcement guards uniforms. It was just it was like unmarred. It was very nice. I must have been well off.
Were they Elvish?
Don't know.
Oh shit. We know that they picked up different clothing while they were in Paris.
Yeah.
Yes, we do believe that those were people actually in connection with the Dragon Riders.
That makes sense.
Bosh, right now, everything
oh.
makes sense to you.
Yes.
Yes. To be fair, I haven't eaten in a few days.
Alright, in which case, let's go find him some food.
Let's
All
take
right.
him for
Can
food.
someone
we
help me pick
we
up Sesh,
expedite
please?
this as well.
Oh, Sesh is fine, don't worry about Sesh. Sesh, we're going for
Let's-
food. Just follow the nice smell of food.
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's skip time. Let's skip
yeah,
time.
we
Uh,
cover all the information with him. What can he
okay.
tell us in addition to what we already know?
He's not very well versed in ancient Elvish, so none of the writing or anything makes sense.
Okay.
He reads your translations.
He is our expert on Seagull, so that's...
He's an expert on Seagull. He does say it's odd your drawing, because you did a drawing of Sala's pendant, right? At one
Yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely did
So-
that.
It's odd. It looks like a squished version of the symbol of Seagull with a mouth and then an eye put together. So one crest and another crest intersecting the other crest.
Which is
So,
what we
it's-
thought.
So that looks very much like a Zagulian symbol, though it's
And
it's
they
slightly
refer to
modified.
her as the All-Mother.
That makes sense. There's no things on record about that, but it's a if Zagulian teaching and Zagulian worship were to be codified into some language, they would need some sort of word to refer to her. And the derogatory terms that are used wouldn't be kosher for that, so they would have to come up with something.
Can we like hire Bosch as like an expert? Can we just hire him as a hireling and
Retainer.
have him come with us?
You know, like in
as
Battle
our
Brothers, where you have
historical
a
expert.
person like a scout or a merchant. Or
I mean,
something, you hand to your
hirelings are a
regiment.
D&D thing, right? Can't we
Yeah.
hire Bosch
Yeah.
for now? Bring him,
I mean,
get him a nice
he-
set of clothes. We bring him to meet all the generals and stuff, so he can like help us academically back this up. Like,
I could. I don't do a lot of public outreach. I'm very much a researcher in my school, of which I hope still has my job open. I hope they don't think I'm dead.
Sesh, will you
do you need to
Can we
borrow the
send a
sending
message-
stone? Well, he can
lend
do
it
it
the
directly.
sending
No.
zone?
Let what happens at this point. I've sent the messages. In all honesty, this has given me a new outlook on life.
Do you need to contact anyone? Because you couldn't do so with the sending stone if you need to like catch up with family.
Don't have that. So I'm good. I'm good on that point.
Friends who
This
might want
food's
to know
really
you are.
good.
Okay.
This food's really good, as well as this water. You never know how much you need water until you don't have it.
Oh, we
hell.
would, just when he mentions that, and
This
we're
guy
like,
starts going down on the water. just
oh,
like gets
when
it
he
opened up.
mentions water, we talk about how we, yes, we spent how long? 3 months trekking through the grey wastes to
months.
find an old Crusader castle belonging to Bahamut, and we tell him all about that.
Oh,
And not
yeah,
about
and I
the,
show him my pictures.
not about the magic pool though that we found there.
Nope.
Yeah,
Don't talk
Rivallon's
it.
just walking past the table going, Sesh, mate, oh god.
Meet Bahamut.
Like directly, not indirectly. Like I face to face. It was cool conversation.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Very much. There's no like make a
Insight.
make an insight check.
Go Sesh,
Nothing
go
phases this man
Sesh.
anymore.
That shit.
bad roll.
That shit.
Hold on. I got a +6 to insight. Let's go. That's a 23. Insight. Isaac's actual wheelhouse.
Well, it sure isn't investigation or...
Wait, how come your insight's awesome and yet you can't see 3 feet in front of you?
Insight.
Insight's wisdom.
Insight is understanding people.
perception, though.
Perception
See,
is seeing people.
insight is
Yeah.
about getting your insight out, and that is something that Isaac is perfect at.
No, I'm
He just
very
needs
good at
someone's
accidentally
help, and
sending-
hopefully a small girl with a sharp knife to go
PM damage.
Okay. I'm Isaac is very good at accidentally setting people on fire with a cantrip. Is what because that guy wasn't the first person I've done it to.
You're right though.
Okay. By that you mean
God, my dex is good.
Yeah.
I turn to Sesh. There's something about him that's not all there at the moment.
Really?
No, like
Couldn't tell.
I think maybe
Heal him?
some sort of. Do I think it's something mental, or do I think it's magically inclined?
Make a.
Arcana.
I'll
or-
say Arcana or Medicine.
I'll go with Arcana.
Hang on, I think I've got a good medicine.
That's a 20, dirty 20.
Dirty.
No,
You detect no spell upon this man. More
Okay,
so,
he's-
you.
He's just seen some. He's 1,000 yards.
Sesh, medicine that man.
This man needs a psychologist.
This man needs a therapist. Oh,
Oh!
Yeah, I
20, not 20. It's a 29.
Sesh, you've seen this in guardsmen that have just seen too much at some point. He might not be telling you exactly everything he's seen, but the possibility of having seen a skyship not only be attacked, but then fall upon a population center probably screwed him up a little bit, given the fact that he's a researcher who's never been really out anywhere. And then the ensuing chaos of a war that he had to escape the hostile nation's capital of in a coal scoot, essentially. And then
just a member of the opposite nation.
yeah,
Oh.
and then also having to spend probably 2 or 3 weeks, given the distances involved and the fact that it was a cargo ship, inside of the hold of rotting fish.
Can me and Sesh do like a joint religion check to try and like comfort him?
Oh, I've got a better idea on that. Hey, Friedrich.
Just
Question.
God, this recently.
I have a question for you, Friedrich.
Yes,
We're staying in a very nice inn at the moment.
that sounds nice. I used to stay at good inns.
Would you like to use my room?
Your room. I wouldn't want to impose.
Oh
That
no,
seems-
it's fine.
That
it's
seems very
fine.
impolite. Also, where would you stay? My cart's not big enough for you.
I'll stay in.
That's
Mugs.
true.
You can
I
stay
can
with me.
listen. We can top and toe it if you want, or I can just stay with Justinia. I'm sure he wouldn't mind sharing the bed with me.
No.
No, wouldn't mind as well.
As long as I'm not imposing, that sounds divine. Ah, talking
There's
about
also-
gods.
There's also a sauna attached to the
He
room.
just starts
I'm sure
looking
you'll.
up
I'm
at
sure
this
you'll. I'm sure you'll enjoy the relaxation and the stress relief. You know, it'll be nice to
That
decompress.
does sound good. That
Decompress.
does sound
you
very
know?
good. Like this meal was very good. It had real meat in it.
Not a horse.
And if you'd like, I
Get for
could.
Katari.
Atari's just like, oh man, what has this guy been eating the last 6 weeks?
Rats.
Probably.
For those
probably.
listening to
I
the
like- I
podcast,
like
if
how
this
you
ever
were
comes
all
out
are-
on podcast. Utari is totally broken.
I like how you're all this. I like how you're all losing it over this man's horrible misfortune.
And after that's all done, I'll give you a massage.
No, I don't think I. No, I'm good with not. I'm good. I'm good with no one touching me.
It's fair. You can enjoy your privacy in your own room, and have a good night's sleep.
Thank you. Thank you. Where is it?
So we take him obviously back to the hotel, but yeah. So he gives us a little bit more information.
The All Mother thing sounds like it's probably just some sort of codified moniker that would be in keeping with the organized religion. Most of the stuff you show him doesn't really. It's nothing new. Definitely the symbols that you see, like the 3 interlocking crescents that you've seen in a lot of documents and stuff. That he definitely says that's probably that looks to be some sort of like take on Elvish iconography, with the 3 moons being a very big religious component, and it probably just evolved into some sort of symbol. Though the ones that interlock on one of the documents looks weird. It doesn't. That's not how moons work, because there's like the crescents are like over top of each other and like interlocking. I think it's on document clue. Which clue is it?
I remember the symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on clue 3. The personal or the orders that you had from base commander to the central HQ. So that one doesn't look like it kind of works. That and so yeah, it's much more in line as the flag you describe you seeing. That looks to be more like natural moon formations.
Okay.
In kind of a normal pattern that you would see in early Elven religious iconography.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all he can really give you from that point. Like nothing. He definitely, like when you described like the gun, like the muskets and stuff like that. I said, yeah, no, that definitely makes sense because the lines and the flowing and everything looks very Elvish, like it's been carved. You've seen Elvish carving, and that looks like it would be in line with it. Just more militaristic and like, even though it's very pretty, like the muskets you have are very pretty and very like well made. You can say like that's like military level. Like Elven like craftsmanship. So it's like bare minimum in terms of
It's just the Elven
looks.
version of factory made. Like,
yeah, but it's like but it's very detailed, and you can definitely. So he says, yeah, that makes sense. That this would be some, like a dwarf making this would be like stamped or some sort of like boxy kind of thing. So that makes sense. That definitely looks like Elvish culture. So yeah, that's what he kind of gives you. He doesn't give you a lot in terms of that. Like he's not like super versed in pre-conquest Elvish culture. He knows basics of it. He knows broad strokes. He knows a bit about the conquest. Like he knows. Actually, hold on. You might actually get this. You guys, fucking Bosch is your lifeline, guys. Nobody's made that check yet. He knows the reason why the Conqueror is never referred to by a gendered pronoun is because there's no agreement on who they actually were. There are conflicting stories about the origin of the Conqueror. Some state it's a father who lost a son to an Elvish imperial patrol over the mountains. Others say it's a wife who lost her whole family and then led a uprising. And some say it might be a mixture of both. He
but that's
has
the
a theory.
backstory of Seagull.
Yes.
Timelines
yes.
don't match up. Timelines don't match up on
But
that
it's
point.
still
That'd be
not.
Ancient. This
it's
guy's
similar,
like
yeah.
15, 1600
So
years
could
ago.
that person
Yeah.
have been a champion of Seagull? Because we know Seagull and champions people.
Iconography wouldn't match up. He'd say. He says the iconography doesn't match up too much. They're always depicted as being firm
Seagull
and
only
very.
champions
but-
elves as well. In our
Uh,
experience.
It is very rare for non-Elvish, but it does happen because you do have followers of Seagull in your past that were Underdark creatures that weren't Elvish, as an example. And Sesh has experienced. I think we worked out
There was
one
sect
sect
Yeah.
that existed in the city before it was.
That were a gang or
down.
something. I remember.
Yeah, but no, there's conflicting stories about the Conqueror and who they were on there. Even their death is highly contested in terms of what happened. There's two predominant ones about an arrow to the heart and a lance to the chest that killed them, but nobody knows for certain. The only thing that they know for certain is what they did during life and their final words. That's the only thing that are 100%.
Which are?
The final words of the Conqueror, while they were dying in the tent with their commanders around them, is when they were asked who should it go to, who should inherit everything, and their reply was it should go to the true heir, and then they died.
Fucking Rivallon, isn't it?
I doubt it. It's too kind of like Roach saying it, layering it. He's doing it to undercut me.
And
Yeah.
what What race do you theorize that they were, or gender?
Hold on. He's a very well-respected scientist, and he's academic and historian, so he'd have some theory on this. Give me a second. I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna see how high it is to how close the actual legend that I have written down it is. 'Cause it's not bad.
I love Bosch now. I'm gonna have him on retainer under us now. We'll just keep sending him money, guys. I think.
Just sending him like here's Bosch's allowance.
Platinum
Just give that to
pieces.
him. Personally, I've never put a lot of thought into it, but the compelling evidence shows that I think it was not a single person. Because both have a component of truth, but Old Common didn't have a pronoun. Our current had a pronoun for a non-gendered They had non-gendered pronouns.
Like
but
German
that's
does
not-
now.
Yes, but New Common or Modern Common doesn't have a non-gendered pronoun for a singular individual. I think it is a mistranslation of the stories from early, mid, and late Common. That it is in fact a pluralization of conqueror. They were the conquerors. Maybe a few or two or three. I'm not sure. Though
Twins?
since there is
Maybe brother sister.
possibly,
Husband,
I'm not
wife.
sure. I don't have specifics on it. I think that there were multiple. It's a minority opinion.
Yes. Well, I can understand the
I would
fear
need to-
behind it.
I would need to go through a lot of dig sites and research a lot more. This is very.
How
This
much
is from
would it
what
cost to
I know.
fund That?
I'm sorry, what?
How much would it cost to fund that?
A dig site? That would be quite an expense. I'd also have to find. Individuals to put on retainer to help me with that. Familiar with the local ground, and we'd also have to
Ballpark.
work out a location for that.
No,
Most
no, no, okay.
locations.
Ballpark figure, how much would it cost for us to hire you to do research into it? Try and formalize an idea.
He has much less of a bonus in that area. It would all depend on time. If we're taking a ballpark of maybe 2 months of research time, a few thousand gold pieces. The works alone have to be rented from local libraries, and dig sites have to be managed and defended. And also, we have to get leave from the local government if we're doing this all above the board, though I've worked below the board before with a few dig sites, and that has varying degrees of
We're about
success.
to meet with the local government. I might get back
Splendid.
to you on something there.
That would be splendid. That's about all I can really help you with. I don't have a lot of experience in the area to aid you. You'd be much more better off looking at other experts in the area, maybe locals, academics, and talking to them about specifics. But then again,
they're
they
not
might
very
be,
helpful.
they also might be
So-
colored by local biases that I am immune to,
Pertaining to, yes.
since I don't care.
Fair enough. But 2 would make sense if there's multiple stories of death. It could mean one died
What?
that way, the other died that way. And if it happened in the same battle, of course there's going to be a succession crisis because no decides if one has survived, leaving no heir. And if they were brother and sister, maybe there was a third child that thing, or if they were husband and wife, they might have had a child and kept it secret. Something of the like
Possibility.
there.
It's as I said, it's very difficult to understand this without having put a lot of time into it. But I can tell you, it's very oral history based, and it's been over 1,000 years. Things get lost at that point. In fact, I know for certain there's been no burial mound or chambers found for the conqueror or conquerors. No one knows where they are.
Are there theories?
I'm going to point out he hasn't rolled under a 15 in every roll you've
Nice.
asked him to make. That's the point.
I'm gonna hug Bosch at the end of this.
He doesn't like
And he
touching.
gets a +7, remember?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
no,
where, like,
he's rolled consistently above a 20 with all of his bonuses. Every
Isaac
time.
goes to hug Bosch. Bosch punches him in the mouth. Like, no, don't touch me.
No, Bosch pulls out his hidden knife and starts jabbing.
I wear
Start
a
stabbing-
breastplate now. That's
Start stabbing
Battle
Isaac
brothers,
for some reason.
you can go for piercing.
There's a couple of theories I've heard about passing. So one is that nobody knows where the Conqueror got to, how they got here. Because the Sunset Mountains are a solid mountain range with very few passes, especially none that can form an army. And the army came from the plains, so we have to find a way around or through the mountains without causing a mass attrition.
Are elephants a thing in this world?
Yes, but not on this continent.
Oh, okay.
There are creatures that would resemble elephants in a small island continent midway across the Restless Sea that is currently a colony of.
It's right next to Robot Dino Island.
Dino Island. No one knows specifically, but it's thought that due to there's contextual clues and texts that have been written written about the histories when they were spoken to, that they must have been buried at the site of their first triumph. Is what's been written down, but nobody knows where that first triumph is or what it was. That's the current main theory. Others say that they were burned and their ashes were scattered across the site of their greatest victory, which some say is this city, but I don't know.
We're on our way through to this
What about
city.
teleportation?
We passed through a destroyed elven city that had been destroyed.
Oh yes, lots
Maybe.
of those.
Yeah,
Lots
you
of
really
those
don't
around
want him
here.
going there. Trust me on that one.
Lots of those
No.
around here. The elven cities, after the Conquest leadership fell apart, were sacked in almost their entirety. And most of those sites are still unsettled. Most of the forests and overgrowth and old growth forest you'll find in the Succession region are probably a site of an old elven city, at least. A major site of a city. What you'd probably find there.
So do you think that it's possible that there's a burial site somewhere in the mountains then? Is that what you theorize, most likely?
Please do a 15.
Still hasn't rolled under a 15 yet.
Yes!
But he has less experience in this area, so don't take his stuff for gospel.
It's better than the knowledge we have of this area.
Which is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Why are none of us playing a character from this area that actually knows their lineage?
Well, we were going to in the first campaign that we ran of
Yep.
this, and then you.
Yep, I know. My character was from Osnia. Don't keep rubbing it in.
Yeah, you're a major,
dead.
major. No, your father
No,
was
he's
a major
not
noble.
dead. He's somewhere. Yeah, he was the bastard son of a noble from this area. Like, it would have been
Yeah.
fine.
I think, personal theory, not 100% on this one, that the conquerors, again, I think there were 2 of them. I think the site of their first triumph was the site of their. I think the first triumph, in the context of many of the writings, is their passage to the Elven lands.
So the site they entered from.
So if we
'Cause I
find
think
that
that's-
pass,
Is there knowledge of which kingdom they sacked first?
Well, there was no individual kingdom. It was a large empire with decentralized.
Yeah, sorry.
rule. The area
city.
that they sacked
north
yeah.
or
first.
south?
Central.
That's less the names of regions changed greatly. I think, given contextual clues of the rivers that they describe,
Osnia.
somewhere north of Osnia. They had to cross a great span at one
Those
point.
of you
in the
who are
campaign.
sitting at home right now listening to this, Midge is currently dying on the inside.
No change there then.
So
Nope.
my arcane archer that I never got to play would have been perfect about now. Well, I got to play for like, what, 9 sessions?
Less than that. Far less than that.
No, it was 9. We had 9 live sessions.
But that's
Be somewhere in
that's-
someone's back garden.
that's a good, yeah. Oh yeah, you're still shrunken.
No,
That
we
was
got
a
out
start.
of the shrunking,
Yeah.
I think.
That's my own conjecture on clues from what I've read, but that's what it is. That's what I believe. It's gotta be where they first came through, wherever that is. Though nobody's been able to find a passageway from the east to the west of the mountains, other than the coastal road on Tulla.
Are there
and the
any-
northern passes?
Are there any cults or relics to the conquerors? Like,
Well,
have they
cult
been
would imply they are.
have they been deified in any way by anyone, by any sects? Or...
I'm sure someone has, but none that I know of. I'm not from this area, so I wouldn't know on that point. Though I do know the kingdoms almost, like the rulers of the kingdoms all have various measures. They all stipulate that they are descended from the true heir, and they assumed that was one of the generals who had control of the armies at the time.
Cool. Fantastic.
I'm gonna go and take a. I'm gonna go into this room that you've given me, and I'm going to
No worries.
enjoy it.
You enjoy your night, sir.
Thank you very much.
Breakfast is served to you in the rooms.
That's amazing. And the door closes behind him as he goes.
We just learned a lot.
Yeah, no, you
And
guys,
yet not enough.
you guys, keep in mind, could have talked to Bosch at any point. You've had that sending stone for
Since Gorgon.
months.
I bought it in Gorgon.
And yep, for months you've had that. You could have talked to him at any point. Or figured out where he was and talked to him, but you guys. Yep.
I'm so glad we came. I was going to write him off today. I wasn't going to go see him.
I thought
he
you were
was
too.
really-
I thought you
Yep.
were too. Yep. I assumed
Well,
you guys were. That's
Yeah,
great.
Also, we know now where to look for Rivallon's heritage. That's good.
Oh yeah, you got that. That was that was a good. roll on
Also,
his
the
part.
Osnia region. Well, it's more
Norman.
border of Kalan and Aladian dynasty. Which, if they were raiding in, you could have been Kilanese and.
Well, the guy was
From the
wearing an
north.
Illyrian
Oh.
uniform. He learned that on the peyote dream.
Yeah, we did. I have a question for Mo, because you're nobility.
I am.
Oh,
Red
sorry.
doesn't know the answer. Mog might. Carry on.
Yeah. Have you met any Osnian nobility? One of them, any of them through thing. I'm trying to work out if she might have met my
A
previous
young,
character.
chiseled chinned arcane archer, the bastard son.
or just any that might be able to get us some inns up there if we need to go up there.
You have
Is that-
not.
Okay.
I just rolled.
It's
Rolled a luck check.
the northern Snillnold kingdoms are about as far away as you can get from Osnia.
Yep. I mean, I'm from the Cardinal Empire. I've never met anyone from over here myself. I just thought noble
Why is it
circles
so
you might have
hot?
more.
Stay further
Oh
away
no!
from here.
I run quite warm. I'm fine with the temperature. I actually hate the cold.
I like how you're talking to me, the GM, in your character's voice.
It felt natural. I'm sorry.
No sense whatsoever.
Right.
Who are you
Shall I
talking
have
to,
a
Isaac?
look in on Salah and Volrund?
The voice in my head that's replaced all matters of faith.
Oh, so talking to Paylor. Got it.
No, no.
Oh.
I am fearful to do that one right now.
What'd you say, Mog?
Shall I have a look in on Salah and Volrund?
Might as well.
If I can. I might not get through.
Is there any way we can aid you and help you get through?
No, I don't think. Not on a scry.
No.
You-
It's
no,
they-
It's
it's them
just
failing.
it's a spell. Yeah. Okay. So you're. What's
If you
the
talk
what's
to Salah,
the?
say I'll miss her.
I don't talk to them, I'm afraid.
Can you bring scry up just so I can check? I
I
forget
can
what
give you
check
the
is.
sending stone, Rivallon, and you can tell her yourself.
Yeah, no, she doesn't really like me like that.
No, but she will understand it in her language. It might sound.
Yeah, no.
He
So,
just
bring-
pops scry into the chat so I
Yeah,
can
You
read
could
it.
use
yeah,
those
yeah,
25 words wisely, sir.
Don't do
me-
this anymore.
Yeah, please don't.
Shall I?
It's not pulling through.
Drop
Roach.
it into the chat, not into the.
No,
Oh,
Scottish, my chap.
Yeah, I've tried.
no, you haven't. You've been dropping it there. No, still not.
No.
Give me a second. Let me bring up scry. I just need to check.
Technically, I have the spell on my spell list, but I can't post it because I didn't take the spell.
Yeah,
So,
you didn't prepare it today.
No.
What? Okay. What is? What? Just out of character, out of the information that we've got, does it advance us anywhere further, or is it just nice to have information in terms of the story right now?
If they're
What's
on
your,
an ocean, or I can see water around them, or I can see boat, they're on their way.
That's-
What's your?
I know. I'm in what we just done
spell
for
check.
Bosch.
What's your
Spell
spell
check.
check?
What's your spell
'Cause
check?
it's-
Oh,
It's against chat.
With DC.
Your spell DC.
spell DC is. Can't see it.
For 4? Is it 4 now or is it 5?
You've got proficiency of +4.
Oh, it's 4.
Yeah,
so
plus
it's
4.
12 plus your charisma modifier.
16 then.
16. Okay, so they got to make a check against 16. You
Yeah.
have first.
Oh, 15.
hand-
12 plus 4 be proficiency, and then your charisma modifier is +3.
It's. No, because it's only +3, so it's 12 plus 3, which is 15.
15.
4
Okay,
plus 3.
so you're doing Sala.
Do Salah
Volrund
first, because
Oh,
I've had luck
okay.
with her. And then do.
Right, she's making a Wisdom saving throw, which is a 16. You are familiar with them, so
I
that's
am.
a -5 to that check.
Which is 11.
Which is 11, and you don't have any possessions, likenesses,
have a
garments, or
picture.
anything like. You have a picture that's further -2 on that, so
Mhm.
it's a 9.
Yeah.
So it's a failure.
You also
Okay.
own a dragon thing, which I think you said
Oh,
before
yeah.
technically counts as
Yeah.
a thing
Yep.
he owns.
Yeah, you got what I'm wearing.
Hold on, let me roll to see
What you don't want to wear when
What's-
you're around her.
things Sala might be doing. Roll on this chart. Okay.
Don't let Rivallon see it.
So, you know, whole thing scrying, you know, going over
Yep.
the
Cool, cool, cool.
going over the land, magical shit. Yeah. It's the third time you're doing it. It's not magical anymore. It's just
Nah.
a thing you can do.
Just a thing.
It's the thing.
Not an important thing, just a thing.
It's the thing.
You come upon. Do you cast like tongues on yourself so you can
Yes.
I
Sesh
cast
has
tongues on
cast
No,
tongues on
they
me.
cast
Tongues.
tongues.
We
Okay.
have definitely
Alright,
done
good.
that.
All right. You see Sala in a room because you see 10 feet around them. So you see
Yeah.
you see Sala in a room. It looks to be a well-furnished room made of wood with a carpet on the ground. As she walks in, make a perception check, or no, make an intelligence check.
Oh boy.
This
Mog
is a
talks
sneaky
a
node.
smart game. She ain't very smart.
Can you spot the difference?
No.
More intelligent. What the fuck?
All
Excuse
So
me?
you don't get the specifics of it, but you see Sala walk into this room and close the door behind her. There's like general chattering going on in the room as she walks in. She is wearing a slightly different uniform than what you remember. The boots are no longer riding boots; they're more lower cuts, and the uniform top is a different cut. And has piping on it that her previous uniform did not have. It's still the same
Damn it.
kind of white.
She's got a promotion.
She got promoted.
The piping is a twisted braid of gold and black going along her, like the edges of the uniform coat.
Similar to Isaac's fancy clothes.
And it kind of goes on like that for a while. She's obviously listening to somebody talk. Make a perception check. Let's see if you can actually, because technically you can't hear anything outside of that, but I'll let you, because sound travels. So make a perception check and let's see if you can actually hear past.
Better, 18.
Okay. You hear a voice, a older voice, kind of deeper, a little gravelly, either from smoking too many like cigars or cigarettes or drinking too much. Over the years, just kind of that kind of texture to the voice, talking at probably what's the opposite side of the table, and you kind of like you pick up bits and pieces because it's kind of coming in and out as it goes because of the scrying spell. But the individual, who's some sort of authority, is talking about shoring up defenses along the eastern edge of the garrison's perimeter on the island, and trying to make sure something like that doesn't happen again.
Oh, she's at the island. Well, she is. We knew she was at the
Yeah.
island, didn't we? But she's
There's
now
a lot of
an officer at the
nodding.
island.
A lot of nodding going on there, and then you hear the man. This is our Lieutenant Sala has a recommendation that I think we should all hear and possibly undertake. She gives like a curt nod and like little attention, boots click, nod, and then leans forward into what you can see now as she's leaned forward. The table's got like a map on it. And it's a map of the Fireward Isle that you were on previously, though much more detailed, and it's got like contour lines and stuff across the whole island, like a surveyor's taken a look at it. And there's like a mark of the fort that they want here and the city that currently, or the town that's currently there. And she points to like the tip of the island and goes, I believe that we should have a sub-guard station up here to the north. If we can build it out of the forest with local materials, we can use it as a secondary area to have patrols go along at much greater frequency. That way they can't, future incursions will have a higher chance of being spotted by a shore patrol than currently, where they have to go across half the island before they reach one of our picket points. We can supply it, and it can also be used as an observation of the northern shipping routes if anything strays too close. We can do local trade with the ships there under cover without having to give any extra eyes the look at our current activities at the fort. There's a lot of like some murmuring around there, and then you think you hear maybe a question, but it's out of the kind of the area of the scry, and she kind of like gives a nod. Goes, I believe we can do this in under a week if we use the new engineer unit to carve a road through this low-lying riverbed that is currently dry, and build a road on it, and use the materials from carving through that to build the walls to the new sub-fort up here. And there's murmuring, and she gives a nod and steps back, and then something else is being talked about right as the scrying spell ends. And kind of fade out from there.
She's still on the island. Those engineers arrived. They are shoring up defenses because it sounds like Oh, they might have had a little incursion. Don't know who that was.
And that's where your scry ends. Are you doing
I'm
another
gonna
one?
try Volrun.
Okay, Volred. Let's get him here.
This might fail.
Yep.
All right, yeah, because you know him. You've met the target, so it's a flat 0 on that
Flat
point.
0.
And
I have a picture.
you have a picture, so that's a -2 on whatever he rolls here. That's it, because you don't have a possession or a garment of his. So, and you don't have anything like that, or any physical part of them. So, let's
Chop off a
do
finger
save.
just in case.
Yeah, he has a worse save than well, no, it's the same. It's just 1 point lower, so it's the same bonus for wisdom. So 8
He failed.
Get
Nice.
in there. Mog MVP tonight.
Mog and Bosch MVPs.
Oh, yeah, Bosch is MVP of the campaign now.
Nerds to the rescue.
So your vision travels in a different direction than you're used to. You still don't know exactly which because of the scry spell's arcane nature, but it arrives at some point, feels different. You see a man, a balding, elvish man in a pressed uniform, white, untouched by dust or dirt. And he is sitting on what looks to be some sort of log that's been cut from like a tree. Not the stump, but just a log by itself. And there's a firelight that's coloring the front part of him with darkness kind of creeping in from behind. It's still daylight, but it's getting down there. And you see him doing something with his hands, and it takes you a second before you just hear the grinding of a whetstone on a long rapier sword, and he's just grinding it down slowly without looking at anything else, and he's doing this for maybe 2 or 3 minutes before he takes it up and looks at it, takes an oilcloth and goes down the length of it before flipping it over again and starting on the other edge. You hear low murmuring, maybe 5 or 6 other voices in close proximity. Make a perception check. You're just about ready to end the spell as nothing's really happening. When you notice something shifting in the back behind him. Then you notice and remember, he's where you think he might be, somewhere nearby. Still got a couple hours till dark. Shouldn't be dark behind him. And you see the movement. It's not darkness behind him. It's a lumbering being of dark black scale curled behind him as he's like in the crux of where the curl like kind of begins, as he's just sharpening a blade right next to his mount that's sleeping. No words are spoken by him. And he just keeps sharpening his sword until the scry ends.
Okay. Wow.
He's with his dragon, and I think he's close because the sun's about the same level in the sky. But other than that, I don't know. He seemed alone though.
You can only see for 10 feet, and if those dragons are big, I guess they have to spread them out a bit.
I would say so.
Does mean that they've got themselves some sort of haven around here, though.
I don't know the area well enough to square in a location, and it would only be a very small area.
If the sun's in the same place, it could be anywhere on the western coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was wooded, but I mean the whole place is wooded, unless you're in a city.
I think we'd have heard it if there was a dragon in a city.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have heard, though, if there was a dragon in some elven ruins that are filled with ghosts that don't kill elves, and they are elves.
Well, luckily we have an elf that can go looking.
True.
How long is it till the party, and how long is it until the equinox and the election?
I'm going to say, given all of the information you've gathered and the people you've met and everything that's happened,
Party's
it
probably
is-
tomorrow.
I'm going to say, yeah, because my calendar is currently on the 1st, but the party's on the 4th of this month. So I'm going to say you all have used up your open time, and you are, we're going to say, like, this isn't like concurrent, like you've had times in between all of these events and everything. So we're going to say you're just on the day of the party is happening. You have been told to meet with Haslad at the command or the HQ building of his order, to meet him there right before daybreak, to be well dressed and ready to schmooze. Was the things that you've told, things that you've what you've been told to do. So it is the day of. The equinox is, you're less than a month away at this point, because it happens on the 2nd of next month.
But the months have 35 days.
36, because it's
36.
10 36-day months. You've been told the election will be happening on that day as well. They're gonna have it all kind of one big go instead of having two separate holidays. They're just gonna have it all rolled up into one as like a big thing happening in the city.
Big, perfect target.
So
Well,
that's-
I think we gotta go schmooze.
Yeah.
Not that Ustinia hasn't already been schmoozing these last couple of
True,
weeks.
that is.
Shinny has been practicing his schmoozing specifically for this.
Ustinia's just gonna go
By the
there
way,
and know
give
everyone.
me 3 charisma checks, Ustinia. Just give me 3 charisma checks, flat.
How charming is Yesenia? Pretty
Very.
charming.
Very.
Exceptionally
Charming.
moderate.
Not charming.
No.
That's the day he got hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the day they all witnessed him kill a deer with his bare hands.
Literally just
Yeah, you
sleep.
missed a shot with
Go
the
to
bow
sleep.
and you got really angry, and it's like that gif of you picked up a stone and hit the deer in the head with the stone.
no, you just choked him out. You just choked him out. Just sleep. Go sleep. Go sleep.
No, Ustenia, you actually made some inroads. One of the hunting trips that you kind of set up with some of the like lower class rich people that live or that are part of this hotel's like group, they brought somebody that actually had power in with them because they knew them and their acquaintances. It is a well-to-do tradesman. In the city, the nobility only exist as the Kalans, really. All the other bits of power are non-nobles, but have some sort of, pull in things, either, lord mayors that are voted in or very well-to-do merchantmen, that kind of stuff. He is a merchantman who deals primarily inside the trade of textiles, between here and the colonies in Rapkus. And he's going to the ball as well. He's been invited, actually, directly as a guest. And he knows a few of the Kalans. He has passing acquaintance with a few individuals, as well as the Lord Mayor of the city, which is probably where he got the inn at. And so you have some inns with a social circle. Maybe not directly with the nobility, but adjacent to the nobility. Which, whether or not you want to use that, you can. But that's what you get for schmoozing with people the whole time and trying and just kind of working through that. Just kind of like just doing that. And he seemed to take the man seemed to be quite taken with you. He was very interested in your stories, and he loved your whole get-up when you were hunting. He loved the whole. It was very, very rustic. I'll enjoy it.
Why, indubitably.
Yes, very good. So he was looking forward to, and he was very knowledgeable about hunting, just in general. So you got along with him in that sense for the few days that you knew him. But yeah, so he's kind of an ass in a way. He doesn't know he's that unintentional racist in that way. He's very unintentionally belittling. But
I just think of the local customs sketch from Key and Peele.
yeah,
Much observed of those customs.
yeah. Yeah. But you had the social graces to not get angry while he was there, and you have
He
now
didn't go full rage and smash him over
and
the
you've
head.
worked through that. You've worked through that. So yeah.
You see, the third day was when he didn't
And he
come,
is,
and he choked out a deer.
he is known as Charles Martin. Martin.
Charlie Martin.
And he emphasized the accent of the word of his last name quite heavily, even though it is not spelled any way like that. It's spelled like Martin.
Oh no, this is that
Residence,
bucket and
lady
bouquet.
of the house sleeping.
Bouquet resident. Yes, this is Mrs. Bucket.
Okay.
It's like
Right.
it's like Django. They call him Monsieur Candy. And no, he doesn't speak French. Don't speak French at him. But yeah, that's what you get, and that's kind of I think nobody else has really spent a lot of time trying to do.
I've
that.
been
So
in
nobody
my
else is
room
gonna-
working on stuff.
Yeah, so you don't. Yeah, you have gotten to know the daughter of the owner of the hotel because she is just entranced by you as an adventurer, and that is her dream. And we went over that last time.
Yeah, I've got my little friend Kaylee.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Who is now also worshipping or whatever your patron's called.
But
Well, damn, that was quick.
So it is the day of the ball. Everybody has their good clothing that they've bought. For the most
Unless your
part.
name is Rivallon.
Unless your name is Rivallon. So you've gotten all that together. How are you planning on going? Are any of you going to be armed? I know Rivallon, but is anybody else going to be armed?
I'm going to
Uh,
take
Mom's
my
going
Pantheon.
to have her book underneath her dress, like underneath the skirts of her dress.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have obviously my breastplate has been worked into my outfit.
Is
And
the symbols of Palor going to be very open?
yes. I'm
Okay.
also not wearing my hood for once.
All right. So you're,
He's like,
yeah. So
here
basically,
Here is
that
my
picture.
redhead flow.
I'm that picture. Yes, and I
Yeah.
will have my wand. My wand will be it's
sheath.
got it's,
Put
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Just like Assassin's Creed.
I'm imagining. I know wizards that have had two wrist sheaths for wands. So I'm just imagining the shit goes down. They just like they've got two wands. Like they're,
It's like when they've got books under their arms and they go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just-
Okay, so you're with that Sesh. What are you?
She's going to bring her longsword with her, and obviously her holy symbol, which is the most important part of her getup. She uses it to like pin stuff together, so like all of the flowing
Right.
stuff she has, it's
Yeah,
her,
there's a lot of
her
flowing
main pin.
I'm wearing, like,
material.
1,000 symbols of Paylor. It's unavoidable at this point.
All right. And Ustinia, are you?
Mog's just added another one to the collection, and it's a really nice one. So it's like on the blue sash.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Ustinia, in terms of your
Arms and
you
armament.
the arms and armament for the party?
Well, it's a party, so I wouldn't be arms and armor. I'd be the fancy clothes with the pin.
Okay.
And cleave is an ancestral weapon, but it's
Yes.
not a fancy one.
No,
Which
no,
I
no.
really couldn't get away with like wearing it as like a part of a fancy outfit. So I'm going to have to leave cleave at home and just go in with my bare fists.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not conducive to the fanciness of of your clothing, because it is part of the reason it's so good is it is just this huge, gnarled, stained blood steel weapon that just kind of.
Don't you have a longsword
big.
as well?
Yeah, don't you have a
It's
long
silvered longsword, but it's like
Yeah,
it's just a longsword that's been silvered. It's not
Surely
a
that's
fancy.
better than your bare hands. If something does go down.
You can borrow my
would fit.
Warhammer if you want
It
it.
would like if you're talking about like would it fit with the outfit, like the longsword is it's basic, but longswords are by their very nature a prestige kind of weapon because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
silvered. It's silvered, so if you really wanted to, I'd allow you if you wanted to, because we had a lot of time between this and that. I would say because we had a couple of weeks right of downtime. If you're thinking ahead of time, you could have had like a blacksmith like actually window the sheath a bit,
Tart it up a bit.
Yeah.
so it showed the silver blade through there, so it's more like a status thing. It's
Yeah.
functional, but it's also got some status to it. If you wanted to do
Yes.
that. I'll
Yes.
say it's taking away material. It's not that big. Put like 2 gold pieces down on it. It's not a big deal. Like they probably knock that out in a day. If you wanted to do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just to make yourself look better and make it
Yes.
look like
I have
less
been
of a...
schmoozing with nobility, so I need to look
Yeah.
the part.
Yeah. Which, by the way, first day you showed up, that was that guy. You had Cleave with you. Fairly interested in Cleave as a weapon. So,
Yeah.
It depends
To be
on the
fair,
person.
it's a talking point, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it is
true.
a talking point.
Why were you
What
carrying a
what you could
bloodstained
do
axe?
is
Well, you see.
could
But
go
you were
in
in a
fancy
hunting
clothes.
situation, so
You could go
Yeah.
fancy clothes, but keep the helmet you've got with the displacer beast on the head, and then have Cleave on your back, just like, but with like a really nice get like a really nice
No.
like sash belt
No.
thing.
I'm
like,
assuming it's just the fancy
No.
clothes.
Yeah.
Some tribe because you had like
Yeah, we're not going military martial in this. This is a party, so I don't think
party.
we'll
You're-
be bringing.
fancy clothes. Okay, so you're doing that, and then Rivallon's going as himself.
I will have some element of the displacer beast, like sort of more cloak-like rather than
Yeah, I was
over
gonna
the
say you
head
could have like
centurion style.
because
I'm-
it's gotta be a 2-part bit because that thing's not.
Yeah,
It's gotta be 2 parts. So you could have the second lower part without like the paws that go over.
Yeah,
the
more like
shoulders kind of thing.
if you've seen paintings of like some of the 18th century when they have the military uniform, but they also have that little sash,
like a
little sash of
leopard
animal,
skin
yeah,
or something,
yeah.
or tiger skin. yeah.
or the British style where they have what do they call them? It's the white fur with the black spots. It's not leopard. But it's, you know what I mean? With
Mink?
like the
Oh,
mink. Yes, mink. But
Why do
got
I know
with
that, but the British
Displacer
people
Beast.
don't? Ah,
Displacer Beast. Which, by
good
the way,
word.
Displacer Beast is just pure black. It's just a pure black pelt, but still, it's very other like because I don't think we've said it. It's a very otherworldly feel to it because it is a
Mhm.
fey creature, so it's it kind of moves weird for fur.
It's a fake creature built on hatred.
What's a fur creature? It's a fey creature built by
So
a wizard.
appropriate for Estonia.
Built by wizards for defense is what they were initially.
Yeah.
But
And
either
blink
way,
dogs were built to hunt them, weren't they? Isn't that the law behind them?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, that's what you're going as. Rivallon, are you taking any measures to make yourself look nicer during that?
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
you had
I
time.
mean, I've cleaned up the armor, I'm making it a bit shinier where it can be, given the fact it's meant to be a kind of a matte dull finish. You know, I'm
You
cleaning
can make it
myself
shiny.
up.
Yeah, you can
Not-
make it kind of shinier. Like
I'll clean it up, but that's as far as I'm taking it.
Okay.
I'm making myself look presentable, but in that kind of walks in going, oh my god, that guy can kick
I'm
all the ass.
I'm a military officer kind
Yeah.
of feel to it. Like you're not going for
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
think. You're not going
I'm
for
that guy who goes
Merc.
in like the fatigues that look like they've actually been looked after for 5 minutes, rather than just like he spends
Right,
most of his
okay.
time on the battlefield. But you know that he basically does.
Right. Okay. So not prim and proper, but more like field officer kind of
Yeah.
look to it. And he's shut.
Guy
Okay.
who stays away from the office as often as possible.
All right. What are you taking with you in terms of armament? Are you just taking the swords, or are you like going in with a bow and everything? Because that
I'm going in
might
with everything.
everything. Okay. All right. That's fine.
I'm treating this like Ustenia's dream quest.
Okay. Okay.
While everyone else goes in going, oh, this is very nice, isn't it? Oh my god, we have to
Attack!
fight!
Ah!
Rivallon's alright,
Rivallon.
he's good.
I'm. Don't worry, I'm full geared as well.
Yeah.
He just looks nice.
I just
on
spent
top
money
of-
to make my gear look nicer. Yeah.
I do have a set of
Isaac,
magical full
are
plate, so
you
I could wear
taking
that
the bag of
alternatively.
holding?
Yes.
Can
Bag of
you
holding
put
is a
my
although
adamantium plate in, because it's not going to fit under this corset.
It's fine. It's just...
That's a
By the
good
way,
point.
the bag of holding is not like a small bag. Like that is still it's a substantial bag that just weighs a constant
I'm
amount.
taking it because it's got the spare guns in it.
Okay, I'm just saying it looks a bit out of sorts in terms of scale on your belt.
I'll
I've
check
got
it in a
another
little
thigh
room.
holster. Shall we,
I'm
can
just
put it on there?
pointing it out.
Yeah,
Pointing it
I
out.
mean,
Okay, so we'll say I know what you're all wearing now. I know what you're all taking with you. Keep in
Mhm.
mind that's what you have. so
Serge,
make
help me with
notes.
my corset, please.
Mine.
Actually, that is a point. That is a point. Sessions doesn't have a corset because you decided
it's
to
not
make
like
yours
a-
based off of your
Yeah.
culture. So it's actually very open and flowing and very
Yeah.
not doesn't hug. It
that's
doesn't hug a
quite
lot. It doesn't hug a lot.
whereas we're all
opposite
just like,
for
ah! Margaret.
No, Sesh
Yeah.
doesn't even need to do that because she's so strong. She just puts the hand on her back and goes.
the laces will break before my hand does.
Or the ribs.
no,
The ribs.
the
That's also very likely. The ribs
Yeah.
might break too.
That's very true. Okay,
Serge,
so
is
I know
my
what that is.
bosom
I will.
heaving
I just.
I'm gonna-
I legitimately. I legitimately
good.
need to
You're
use the
good.
bathroom
Look, it's
right now,
delightful.
so I will.
Okay.
We'll get back. I just need to give me like a minute.
I'm also going to use prestidigitation to get the
Downing
dirt off of Rivallon's face and that speck of blood that he picked up somehow since he's left the hotel room.
No, your bosom is
Stop
fine.
it!
Don't worry.
Also, like, for you guys, Isaac does not wear his hood down very often, and he's got his hood down.
I've seen your hood. I think we've seen your
You-
hood down like twice. I
Yes,
think.
only in church.
In church and when we went back to your monastery. I think you took your hood down when we went back there.
Church, yeah.
Why do you hide yourself so much?
Lovely little
Um,
tussle of ginger
I
hair.
know, it's
Delightful.
lovely.
Because I am. It's something that was instilled in me from very young.
Have it.
It's... And then when I learnt to be an inquisitor, it came further in use. So it's just the done thing.
I guess you don't want everybody recognizing your face when you're supposed to be an inquisitor.
That matters less now, and I think I'm in a position where the previous threats aren't as taxing either, so
Okay, I'm
note
back.
to
Sorry
go
about
the
that.
hood down a little bit more.
Sorry about that.
Right,
Down
we
like
did some
2 bottles
role-playing
of
Oh,
on that.
Mog looks less intimidating. She has used a. She's still an orc, but her tusks are a little smaller, and she's just looks more
You've-
gentle.
You've masked of many faced your anger away. Is that what
Yes,
you're
I have.
saying?
Sesh,
Okay,
in the
all
meantime,
right.
it looks like she could break your spine.
Yeah. So.
Even in her nice flowing
hey,
gown.
Isaac's ginger curls
my-
flowing in the wind.
might be somebody's thing. But
Might be. Hey,
yeah,
I'm not here to judge, man.
neither am I. So you head to the rendezvous where you've been told
I
to go
hire a
to.
carriage because I do not want my dress going anywhere near mud.
All right, that is. you get to the location. Let's just say you all get to the location eventually, around the same time. Which, hold on, let me get the quest up here so I can actually read this. When you all arrive at the Fourth Order's headquarters, you see a large, fancy coach wagon sitting in front of the building. Haslad is standing near the door of the building, wearing a uniform, a military-style uniform, that looks to have actually been freshly washed and pressed, and clean. He is also clean-shaven.
I was going to say, is he clean and pressed as well? Because it was his
he
face
looks-
that was the problem.
He looks like he's cleaned up a bit, which actually, in a way, make a perception check.
Does he reek of alcohol?
Well, you haven't gotten close enough for that, but make a perception check from distance on him.
Dirty 20.
Okay, 30-20 with an 11.
23.
I don't get an advantage because I don't have my shield anymore, though.
Isaac's not gonna try.
Don't.
It's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. You
Might
actually both
incite
see,
him.
if you want
He's
to. Yeah.
still drunk as hell, by the way.
If you want to, yeah. You
That's
can go
better
ahead.
for me because even when I roll an 8, it's still a 14.
All right. For the perception, both of you see he's cleaned up a bit, but that is a good and bad thing. He looks cleaner, but it's obvious that the fuzz that he had, like the beard that he wore and the mustache, was covering a lot. His face has a lot of wear on it. He's like, it's obvious he's broken his nose a lot. Because without the beard, it's a little off on that sense, and he's definitely got quite a few little nicks and cuts that have scarred along his neck area and his part of his face. If you had to guess from the perception check that you made, it's the areas of the standard infantry helmet that do not cover that area.
Oh, because he was a corporal in Gold Brand.
Yeah.
So he's been cut like where the armor doesn't meet in the neck and like in the face area. So he's got that. Insight wise, Isaac, you can see he's not comfortable. You can see like it's very subtle. He's been a general for a while, but it's very subtle. He's like tugging at the uniform a little bit because it's a little bit more form fitting than his everyday gear. And he doesn't look like he's happy that he's going here. He looks sober right now, at least from what you can tell. But yeah, that's what you get. He sees you all and he kind of waves you over, kind of insistently. There's this big coach. It looks large enough to fit all of you. It is a big coach. It is a very nice one too. Like it's carved wood with a coachman that is wearing very fine clothing as the chauffeur. But you all come up. And he looks over all of you. All right. Well, looks like you can clean up. That's good. You're all going to be in the presence of very important people for the next 6 to 8 hours.
You don't make me dread it already, please.
Tosh, you're going to have to come
This
with
is-
me to somewhere occasionally. I'll let you know when.
Fix your face again. You are going to need to find some way to get them convinced about this. I'd recommend staying away from the military officers. They've already shot me down.
Any people you think will be particularly pliable?
They're all idiots, so good luck.
It's,
Okay.
We know that
Uh,
the local scholars have already kind of given us the it's possible, but highly
A bit
unlikely
of
speech.
gossips. I love there's
Yeah.
a gossip. There's a lot there.
Failing all of this, is there a way to get the populace on our side? Mass hysteria works wonders.
On occasion.
What a
Well, if I wasn't a soldier of this government, I'd say you could just kill the government, and that probably get them on your side. But
Yes, that's what we're trying to avoid.
well,
Wait for yourself.
That's
either way,
I'm-
don't depend on me for this.
Nope, no worries.
I'm going to be
Okay.
staying quite far away from most of them and enjoying my time as best I can. Oh, cover story. You've all been invited by me because you are an adventuring band that heroically volunteered your service and saved a pay wagon from being attacked by bandits.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
got it.
Oh, fine. Yes.
It's not really a cover story if it's true.
Well, they never
We-
got the money, is the cover story. You were there when it was attacked initially.
Right. Okay.
Ah.
Fine.
Yeah.
So you're
That
changing
makes
the
sense.
narrative. No,
Understood.
fine. No worries. No worries.
You were there, and you volunteered your service, and you took no pay. It's so gallant of you.
How very chivalrous and courageous
Exactly.
and honorable of us.
We have done things for free before, you know.
I know. I am often the one who says we should do it for free.
Yes.
And I'm often the one
That's-
who said bollocks.
That's
Also
your
true.
cover story. Try and
That's
stick
your
to it.
catchphrase.
Try and stick to it.
Got it.
And let's get this over with.
Grimbong Ripper,
he-
you have got a point there, mate. A knight in shiny armor is a knight who's never seen his metal truly tested.
True. Yep. Agreed.
And he sullenly gets into the carriage, and just kind of sits down in one of the seats, and just kind of waits for all of you to board.
Can someone hand me in? I literally
I will-
cannot move.
Hand her in.
Thank you.
I specifically asked, I specifically asked for this this fancy uniform to be wearable and flexible for a caster. That was like half of the money that I put into this.
Why do you think Sesh bought something that was
Because,
loose and flowy with a pair of pants?
Just like
She
I
can
need
still
to
run
be
in
able
it.
to fly in
Rolf
this.
Yeah.
can move her arms. It's just the rest of
Everything
her
else.
body.
Yeah, but you,
Multiplier
yeah, you all,
between here and here is different.
but yeah, you all enter, and the doors are closed by the chauffeur before he gets up on top of the wagon, and then it starts going. You are heading towards the palace of the High Prince. It looks like this is where that's being held. Up main streets, you see the looming walls of this monstrous building. And you reach like the gatehouse of the outer walls. The guards there aren't military. It doesn't look like they're, because there's a uniform you've seen the 7th and or you've seen the 4th wear. Like it's basic, but it's noticeable. This armor's different and the colors are slightly different with a lot more gold on it. These are like house guards for the prince, like directly. That's not a part of the military. And they're like checking the chauffeur. They look in and they've got like a lantern that's got a hood on it, and they look in and they see the general, and the general goes,
Is the general
Goes-
armed?
the general does not have any arms on him except for a small like knife
How these fight
on his
wolves?
belt.
Okay.
He's got like a belt knife
Oh.
on there. That's like that long. It's a mix
Like a
between
parrying dagger.
yeah, he's got that.
You mean-
And
what
it's
you're saying
really
is
it's
the other elf in the carriage has got more arms on him than anyone else in the entire carriage combined.
yeah, basically.
Holy
They give you a
Lord.
sideline. They give you a
Mog has
sideline
all
look for a
the
minute.
Arms she needs.
Yeah, they give you a sideline look for a minute, and the general says, General Hazlet Vogue, 4th Order, and his guests. Take a moment. You can hear some talking amongst themselves, and then a snap, and you can see the guards like giving the thumb, like keep moving, and you can see there are other people behind you, like coming in too. This is a fairly active event, at least high society wise. So you're led through the
Whose house is this we're going to?
The High
High
Princess.
Prince.
the High
Oh,
Prince's palace.
right,
We're going
okay.
to the
I-
palace.
Going to the
I
top tier shit.
At the steps at the palace.
I say
You were
library in Orc to Rivallon.
What does that translate to? book room.
Now that translates to why I do think so, my Lady Mog. We should make our way there as soon as possible and should not dally at all because we don't want to waste any of the time we have.
I'm trying to see what the- internally, mentally, what I view Orcish as less about places and stuff like that, and more about actions. So it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be book place. It would be place of
the same
it would be the place where maybe like
Place of reading.
of those who read, place of reading, or place of those who read would be like.
I like the idea that also it has a double meaning. It's like one of those words that has like multiple meanings, and it comes from the same derivative of the same word as kindling.
But you are led through the outer gates of the outer wall, which is the lower of the two walls. There's like an area in between that wall and the major like height difference, and you start going up, and up, and you get to the second wall where the chauffeur opens the door, where you are going to be entered into the interior of the palace. You see a group of guards who are all, again, house guards. No military uniforms there. They're all like there's two next to the door, and then there's a couple that are the guests in front of you, which look to be a high society man, like a man in high society. He's got like powder on his skin and his wife on arms. They are being. The man is being disarmed of his belt dagger, similar to Vogue's bow dagger, but very, very much fancier with filigree and stuff. Not functional in any way, but he's being disarmed, and it's being placed in a small, like they have chests,
little small chest. It's just like
no,
we're
not
need
small
a bigger
either.
chest.
These are full-size chests, and they have maybe like you can see their stack. There's like a stack next to there, and they all have a parchment card that they've put on
This is a
them,
cloak.
and they're
Military cloak.
basically they're disarming everybody that goes in, and even Vogue takes out his dagger and puts it down.
I hand Rivallon the bag of holding so he can quickly throw all of his stuff in there and carry that around instead. Because if you open the bag of holding, you don't see what's in there unless you know what it is.
Yeah, and people are still allowed other accoutrements. Like that man has a belt purse with like.
So I
gold
hand
stuff.
because my wanted.
Guys, it's 11:10, so I'm gonna.
Oh yes.
Like
We didn't even notice this time.
I didn't notice. Yeah, let's end
this next week.
well,
Yeah.
with you entering the ball.
Rivallon's thinking about whether or not he wants to take his weapons off.
That's what I'm saying. Take them off, put them in the bag, keep the bag, and then you can put them on if you need to.
Okay.
Anyway, you'll join us next week where we enter the steps of the palace and continue our long quest to try and get people to believe us that there is an impending doom. As always, good thank you to Commissar Roach for writing this campaign. You can find him at youtube.com/Commissar Roach.
Yes,
he's now
there you go.
well built on YouTube as well. So if you like D&D content, go check those out. I'm also joined by Surely Only Mikey. You can catch him on twitch.tv/Surely Only Mikey. There's also Utarionzo, who you can catch at twitch.tv/Utarionzo. And then there is the fantastic pair that is Red Moogle and Rival Zone Gaming, which you can catch at multiple places where you find Rival Zone Gamings. Literally Google Rival Zone Gaming. He is the top search result for it. I think partially because of how many times I've searched his name.
Thanks for that, Midge.
Literally, because I spent a lot of time to open his YouTube streams to watch these. It's like every time I'd search Rival Zone Gaming, his YouTube channel went further up in my search result. But anyway, yeah. And then finally,
Midge,
my name is
just
Midge Man.
subscribe.
You can find me at twitch.tv/MidgeMan or youtube.com/MidgeMansWorld and on Twitter, because I'm on Twitter all the time for things. But anyway, we'll catch you same time next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bong Ripper. Yes, Roach is on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes, I'm on YouTube.
Yes, he is on YouTube. Please check him out.
Please.
Bye.